Hey guys, I'm Tom Patterson, founder and CEO of Tommy John. This Father's Day, I'm reminding you that our Quick Draw Fly saves guys 217 minutes of unnecessary fumbling per year. So instead of fly fishing in the bathroom, Dad can spend more time out on the water. Our lightweight breathable underwear are perfect for the great outdoors. For guys more likely to recline than cast a line, we've created exclusive loungewear, apparel, and additional underwear styles so comfortable he won't believe it. You probably know our underwear legs never ride up, the waistband never rolls down, and he'll never get a wedgie. Guaranteed. But did you also know you're covered for everything else? All Tommy John is backed by our best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free guarantee. If he doesn't love his first item, you'll get a full refund. Make sure you grab your gifts early. Tommy John. No adjustment needed.
Shop for Dad at Tommy John's Memorial Day sale now through May 30th. Save 30% site-wide at TommyJohn.com/stream. Get 30% off at TommyJohn.com/stream. TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
MLB fans, when you need tickets to catch your favorite team live all season long, Ticketmaster's got them. As the world's largest ticket marketplace, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of seats available and at competitive prices, so you never have to worry about missing a game. Take yourself out to the ballpark this season and get tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/MLB. That's Ticketmaster.com/MLB.
Listening to the NBA on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
From the Granger studio, Jim Baskell back on NBA Countdown. Tip-off for Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Heat and Celtics is moments away. One thing to keep in mind, Jason Tatum did not attempt a field goal in the 8 minutes he played in the fourth quarter of Game 1. Marked the first time he did not attempt a shot from the field in 306 quarters. He's played more than 6 minutes in his playoff career. That's Inside the Numbers, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. The NBA on ESPN Radio is presented by Indeed. Attract, interview, and hire at Indeed.com/credit. Again, no team has won an NBA title with 5 home losses in a single postseason. A loss tonight would be the Celtics' 5th home setback in these playoffs. For the call of tonight's Game 2, Heat and Celtics, here's our team: Coley Harvey, Doris Burke, and Dave Pasch.
Well, Jim, the Miami Heat have been able to do something that previously had been done just 4 times in NBA playoff history, and that's win 3 consecutive Game 1s on the road in the postseason. And mind you, they are doing this as an 8 seed, the first since the New York Knicks back in 1999 as an 8 seed to reach the conference finals. That Knicks team went on to the NBA finals. Will Miami as well make it to the NBA finals? If they win tonight, their games 3 and 4 are back home where they have not lost, and one would have to wonder about the psyche of the Celtics if they can't bounce back and win Game 2. Dave Pasch, Doris Burke, Coley Harvey. Doris, before we get into the starting lineups and check in with Coley, let's get your keys to tonight's Game 2.
So a few things I'm very curious about with the Boston Celtics, and I will begin with their three-point shooting. Only 3 times this year, Dave, have they been held below 30 attempts from 3. It is a monster part of their success. They are one of the best multi-drive and kick, spray it out all over the floor from 5 positions. You can expect it. But they are 0-3 this year, including 2 times in the playoffs, including Game 1 when they had below 30 attempts. Number 2, lots of conversation about the double big and whether or not we will continue to see that. I would not overreact to what we saw in the third quarter when they were beat 46-25 by the Miami Heat. But I would expect them to continue to stagger Al Horford and Robert Williams III. It's just the way they play it. And then finally, does Boston do a better job taking away the threes? All year, Miami had scuttled from the three-point line, and yet they make 16 in Game 1. Can they take that away, the Boston Celtics? Obviously, I focus on them because it's time to respond.
You mentioned the 16 threes, plus they shot it very well in terms of percentage, 52% from 3. Can they keep that up and win Game 2? Miami has never won the first 2 games of a series on the road in franchise history. That's saying something given all the success, multiple championships. We'll see if that will change tonight. Let's check in now with a third member of our crew. Here's Coley.
Good evening, Doris and Dave. I was at the Celtics shoot-around yesterday, mere hours after their Game 1 collapse. And what I saw was a more focused and still loose team, a more relaxed group than I expected. And even at this morning shoot-around, guard Marcus Smart, who was flat-out angry following Wednesday night's loss, and he expressed real enthusiasm about being back on the floor tonight. And why? Because he feels like his team has a very real chance to redeem itself, and he's excited to be part of that. One way the Celtics can do that is by being physical and setting that physical tone early. Smart said we can't ease into this one and allow the Heat to throw the first punch, so that is something we'll be on the lookout for here in the first quarter. Remember, when these teams met in last year's conference finals, Boston lost Game 1 and then responded in Game 2. How do they respond tonight, Dave?
And you mentioned 2 straight years playing in the conference finals, third time in the last 4 years. It's the first time that's happened since the Pistons and Bulls met 3 consecutive years from 1989 to 1991. One of the most significant stretches in the history of the NBA, when the mantle was passed to Michael Jordan and the Bulls started to win championships, knocking off the Pistons and eventually winning 6 titles with Michael Jordan at the helm. Will we have a similar significance? That's probably asking a lot, but it'll be interesting to see tonight, regardless of who wins the game, what lies ahead. As Denver is up 2-0 in the Western Conference Finals with Game 3 tomorrow night in Los Angeles. Can the Miami Heat get one step closer to going to the finals for the second time in 4 years? Miami wearing the same uniforms it wore in Game 1, the all-red uniforms with the white and black trim, and Boston same uniforms for the Celtics as Game 1 as well, all white with the green trim. Same starters for the Miami Heat. It'll be Jimmy Butler coming off a 35 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 6 steal game. 3 of those steals coming in the fourth quarter. He's the first to have those numbers ever in a conference finals and the 4th ever in any postseason game. Gary Payton, Rick Barry, and Michael Jordan, the only others to accomplish that feat. For Boston, same starting 5 for Joe Mazzulla, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Al Horford, and Robert Williams III. Mazzulla, age 34, youngest coach in a conference final since 1968. Eric Spoelstra's been there. That was a long time ago. This is now year 15 for him in his 7th Eastern Conference Finals appearance. Boston will go left to right, Miami right to left, and the Celtics win the opening tap with Marcus Smart being guarded by Max Strus in the half court to our right. Jason Tatum guarded by Butler on the far wing. Marcus Smart, low block left, works into the paint, turnaround jumper from 10 feet off the back rim and in as Boston scores first.
Not surprisingly, they attack Max Strus. Marcus Smart has an excellent back-to-the-basket game.
Smart had 11 assists in Game 1 and 13 points. Miami ball front court to our left. Bam Adebayo in the high post on the right side. Moves to the foul line. Jump shot up and good for Bam.
It's important that Bam score the basketball. Very comfortable at that range.
Ties the game at 2. 40 seconds gone by. Al Horford with the ball. Fires underneath. Low block left for Marcus Smart. Working on Strus. Bumps with him. And then tries a bank shot that's off the mark and rebounded by Kevin Love of Miami. Love into the forecourt. Finds Bam Adebayo. Guarded by Al Horford. Dribble handoff for Gabe Vincent. What an excellent fourth quarter. He drives here. Right-hand layup. No, the tip won't go either, but a foul called. And it was a foul that happened on the drive by Vincent, so he'll go to the line. It's on Horford.
That's right. Al Horford came over in assistance. Vincent got the step on Jaylen Brown, and he went right at him.
So Vincent, who had 15 points in Game 1, played the entire fourth quarter at the line for 2. First free throw on the way, and it's good. 3-2 Miami. 1 minute gone by here in Game 2.
One thing to note early. 2 Celtics possessions, 2 post-ups from Marcus Smart trying to attack Max Strus. Eric Spoelstra said it was clear in the first half of Game 1 that they were top blocking and trying to take Strus away. Now are they trying to get him in foul trouble?
Vincent made both free throws 4-2. Now Horford 3 on the right side, no good. And Bam Adebayo with the rebound. 10:45 to go, opening quarter. Jimmy Butler bringing it across the timeline on the left side. Moves to the top of the key with Horford now on the switch, guarding him. Butler keeps the dribble, hands off Vincent right wing. He'll drive into the paint and fire to the left side for Love. Tries to skip it to Strus, open 3 right side. Hit it, Max Strus, who was great in the third quarter the other night in Game 1.
Boston Celtics allowed multiple guys from the Miami Heat to get to double digits. Several different guys with 3 made threes, couple with 2 made threes. How intentional are they at taking away those opportunities?
7-2 Miami. The Boston crowd a little restless early on. Jaylen Brown gets to the right elbow. His turnaround jump shot is off target. And Miami controls. One and done for Boston in terms of offensive rebounds. Remember, Rob Williams controlled the offensive glass in the first quarter of game 1. Kevin Love, low post left, works into the middle of the lane. Right-handed half hook won't go. And it's boarded by Horford, who's going to race into the front court. Horford stopping at the right elbow. And now Jaylen Brown, right baseline, working on Vincent, spins right, goes up with a shot, and it's too strong. Rebound by Adebayo. 2 minutes in, 7-2 Heat. Bam on the right side on the front court. Left-hand dribble, works into the paint. Strong move, missed a shot from right at the rim, but it'll go to the line for 2.
It's clear what the Boston Celtics are doing offensively. Now that's 4 possessions. 2 post-ups for Marcus, 2 post-ups for Jaylen. You start 2 small guards in Strus and Vincent, and Boston is saying, you can't contain us. But they have not yet been able to capitalize. Marcus has 1 made shot.
The Celtics as a team, 1 for 5. Rob Williams picked up the foul, second on Boston, and Bam at the line for 2. He had 20 points in game 1. First free throw is good. He also had 8 rebounds and 5 assists. A very typical Bam Adebayo game. He's their offensive hub, and he sets their defense.
He's a completely different challenge than what they faced in Joel Embiid of the Sixers. To me, Bam Adebayo at his best when he takes it off the window, pushes in transition, creates cross matches, or goes right to the cup.
Second foul shot, knocks it down. It is 9-2. Boston scored the first point, so a 9-0 run. 9:49 to go in the opening quarter. And the TD Garden is quiet, like it was in the fourth quarter the other night. Tatum driving right side. And a step-through move, left-hand layup good. He got to the left side of the rim after starting on the right side of the floor. First points for Jason Tatum, 9-4 Miami. Vincent left side, driving, goes underneath the bucket. Brings it back out to the perimeter. Lob pass intercepted underneath the goal by Williams. Ahead to Horford in the front court on the far side. Skip to Tatum right wing. Working on Bam. Trying to drive on him. And a Miami foul. They're going to get Adebayo. And that's the first on the Heat.
So Jimmy got caught looking, anticipating a screen. Tatum crossed him over on the last possession. You can tell now Tatum wants to get off on the dribble drive.
Tatum with Butler on him in between the circles. 9 minutes to go, first quarter, 9-4 Miami. Left wing Horford, he'll try a 3. And too strong, he's missed twice. Rebound Butler, again, no offensive rebounds for Boston. Butler has the basketball, has yet to take a shot on the far side on the switch. He's got Williams on him, so he'll shoot a 3. It's blocked by Williams, sent it right back in his face. Williams ahead to Jaylen Brown, front court left. Being guarded by Vincent. Miami gets back defensively. Tatum up top. About 25 feet out. He'll hoist the 3 on the left side. Hit it. Jason Tatum scored 5 in a row. 9-7 Miami.
Just such a difficult step back to your left, but his patented go-to move.
8.5 to go. First quarter. Bam Adebayo, right baseline, facing up on Horford with a shot clock at 8. Turns to his left, puts it on the floor, goes to the left of the rim, right-hand layup, and he missed it, but the tip is good by Butler.
Jimmy Butler, an excellent offensive rebounder. Jaylen Brown actually had inside position. That's just toughness from Jimmy.
11-7 Heat, 4 minutes in. Tatum in the front court. On the far side, Jaylen Brown right wing. Drives to the foul line, pull-up jumper, around and out, and rebounded Williams, and he had it stripped, and it's Miami ball. Butler pushing pace right to left, but the Celtics get back on defense. Now on the switch, Robert Williams III has Butler at the top of the key. He keeps his dribble, and now a step back 18-footer on the right side, around and out, and rebound by Tatum.
Those mid-range shots were key to the 35 Jimmy had. Misses his first look from there.
Tatum puts it on the floor, lost the ball, a turnover, Bam Adebayo, and he's fouled as he tries to throw it ahead. We'll see if they say this is a transition take foul or if it's just a common foul. Eric Spoelstra wants it to be a transition take foul.
And Tyler Ford is going over to Zach Zarba, I think, to get some assistance on whether this is not happening. Now all 3 officials gathered together. So this is going to be an interesting ruling. Tyler Ford seems to be signaling just a common foul.
They still could look and see if it's a clear path. Tatum picked up the foul, his first. They're not going to go to the monitor, though. 11-7 Miami leading. Rob Williams goes to the bench. Derek White checks in. First substitution of the game for Boston.
So the staggering of your two bigs, you put an extra shooter playmaker on the floor with Derek White.
7.5 remaining, first quarter. Love on the left side. Lob the Bam Adebayo, left baseline, driving right of the lane, swooping hook, no good. But the tap by Love almost went down, rolled around, fell off on the left side of the rim to Marcus Smart. Ahead to White, right side, wide open three, no good. And Boston 1 for 4 from 3. Rebound Bam.
An excellent look for Derek White. Two shooters on the right side of the floor. Defender could get to one. He chose Jalen.
On the right side, uses the screen to his right. Bounce pass out of Bio on the cut. Low right, goes up, puts it in with the left hand. 13-7 Miami.
That bucket for Bam is created because he went and set a very physical screen, tied up the Boston player, and then deep dive to the rim.
6 points, 4 boards already for Bam. Horford throws to Brown on the right side. Guarded by Adebayo. They work it around to the left side of the perimeter to Tatum with the shot clock at 10. Tatum now on the right wing, bounces to Horford, who gets a layup, low right. Nice look by Tatum, good cut by Horford.
One way to make sure Jason Tatum is getting touches, play him in pick and roll with your big, as he did with Al Horford there.
6.5 to go, first quarter, 13-9, Miami leading. Butler holding about 30 feet away on the left side, has a screen to his right. Spruce got run over. Maybe faked a little bit. Pass to the right side and a long three. Vincent is short. Love had the rebound and a foul underneath on Boston. It's going to go on Jaylen Brown. We've got a timeout on the floor with 6:16 remaining in the opening quarter. Miami, despite shooting just 36% from the floor, has a 13-9 lead. You're listening to the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
When Shopify says you can sell anywhere, oh, they mean it. Woo, hold up. Just got a new sale. Order fulfilled and shipped. Inventory levels good. Whoa, Shopify doesn't mind if you're at sea level or on top of the world. You can run and grow your business anywhere. Climbing mountains is never easy, but at least Shopify gives me all the tools I need for my business to hit new peaks.
Whether you're selling carabiners or crop tops, start selling with Shopify today and join the platform simplifying commerce for millions of businesses worldwide. We've built the platform so you can keep climbing and grow your business to new heights.
With Shopify, you really can sell to anyone from anywhere.
This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. Start selling online today. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/play. 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 Internet connection required. Not available on mountaintops or seafloors.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
This whole nickname for him called, Bubble Murray, that just needs to stop. There's certain people that only reference the bubble 3 years ago, but I just want to state for the record, this dude's nickname is the Blue Arrow, because he is exact with his shooting. That's who he is, right? So it's almost laughable to me because even this is two people in Denver right now. 2 years ago, when he tore his ACL, he missed the whole season, okay? They got swept by the Suns. Last year, people were trying to rush him back. Oh, it's an ACL injury. What's going on? You need to come back. We need you. Another year in which Jokic was the MVP, but he's going to fall short. You're selfish. You're only for yourself. This is what was happening in Denver last year, okay? And people were questioning, well, does he really want to be here? Now look, he is at the height of his game, and he is the perfect complementary player to Nikola Jokic.
From the Granger studio, I'm Jim Basco. Don't forget to log on to @ESPN Radio on Twitter to vote in the AutoZone In the Zone poll question. Who is going to get in the zone for tonight's matchup? Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Jimmy Butler, or Bam Adebayo? In the Zone is brought to you by AutoZone. It's time to say goodnight to that check engine light. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service that'll help troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone. 6 early points for Bam Adebayo as they heat up for 13-9. Back to Doris and Dave.
Hey, Jim, doesn't it feel like Miami is in complete control, just how they've handled everything so far?
They're up 13-9. They've only shot 36%. Celtics exactly the same. Both teams 4 for 11. But I would say this to you. They feel calm. They feel confident. And it's an amazing thing to me how much Jimmy Butler's presence imbues the entire Miami roster with a belief that we can walk into somebody else's building and have no trouble winning. This is not going to be easy for the Boston Celtics.
You look at the rebounds, for example. The Celtics have 4. Bam Adebayo himself has 4. Miami basketball, 6:16 to play in the first quarter.
Double bigs, minus 14. So you lift Robert early and you're playing with the spread floor if you're Boston.
Miami keeps its 5 starters on the court. Bam on the left wing, looking for Strus, not available. Good defense by Jaylen Brown. Now hits Strus at the midcourt line with 3 to shoot. Drives left side, has to hoist a 3, and he knocks it down. Max Strus, 2 for 2 from three-point range.
He has got to get the job done on the offensive end. They'll attack him. I love his spirit and his fight and his shot making.
He had 13 in the third quarter in game 1. Brown, front court, driving left side, layup, no good. He's 0 for 4, well defended by Miami, and the Heat get the defensive rebound. Vincent, front court, far side, guarded by Smart about 35 feet away. Hits Strus off the screen. Fires a 3, top of the key, hit the backboard and nothing else. Rebound to Marcus Smart at midcourt. Smart stops at the left elbow, keeps the dribble, drives, kicks, right corner, Horford. Couldn't get off a shot. Now Smart, right wing. Sends it back to Tatum, driving. Fires to the left side, a 3 on the way from White. It's good. Derek White answers for Boston with a triple.
Yeah, so that extra spacer on the floor makes all the difference. If you can get to the second side, you're going to get open shots.
5 minutes to go, first quarter, 16-12 Miami. Both teams with 2 threes. Strus has both, and he's got the ball on the left side for Miami. Bounce pass to a cutting Bam. Right side, strip of the ball, ends up in the hands of Butler, who puts it in from 10 feet on the right side. Fortunate bounce right to Butler, who shot immediately and scored. 18-12, Miami leading. 4:45 to go in the first quarter. Another jump shot right side, Jaylen Brown. This time it's good. His first basket of the game.
He has been aggressive and assertive, and throughout the early parts of the playoffs, his first quarter scoring was key. But he is really attacking.
Speaking of attacking, Butler on the drive right side. Stops and brings it back out high. Uses a screen. Moving to his left. Gets into the lane. Goes up with the left hand. Backboard and in. Jimmy Butler scores again. He's got 6.
Yeah, 50% of his points come in the paint. That's where he wants to go.
Boston up the court quickly. Brown drives the lane. Missed the shot. Low right. Easy. He was 2 feet away from the basket. Lost his footing. Missed the shot, though. Rebound by Miami. 1 for 6 for Brown. Butler on the right wing in the front court. 4 minutes to go in the first. 20-14 Heat. Butler left-hand dribble goes behind the back. Drives right side. Pulls up. Can't get off a shot. Timer's at 6. Keeps the dribble. Now fall-away jumper. An air ball. And rebounded by Smart. Smart left to right. Racing up the court. Hits a cutting White. Left corner 3. Jaylen Brown. No good. He's 1 for 7. Backside rebound. Bam. Heat ball with 3.5 to go in the first. Bam on the left side on the front court, being guarded by Horford. Bam going to back him down. Dribbles to his left, and a timeout called by Eric Spoelstra. Maybe a sloppy stretch there. Spo wanted to settle things down, get the most out of that offensive possession here late in the first. 20-14, Miami leads. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
The WNBA is back.
I got it in the bag. That brand new style.
This season's about super team expectations.
It's a really special opportunity. Things like this don't happen often.
Brittany Griner's emotional homecoming.
Griner throws it down!
And a shiny new rookie class.
The Indiana Fever select Aaliyah Boston.
The WNBA, we're all about it. Phoenix at LA, tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and ESPN+. Presented by Google.
Ooh, I got soul.
Greeny. He is a player who is prone to injury as the season goes on. He is going to wind up being one of the greatest players ever, never to win a championship.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Canty and Carlin.
John Morant has shown us who he is. I mean, it was March 4th that incident happened out in Denver.
This is who he is. We already have a problem with gun violence in this country. One of the biggest stars the sport has to offer is perpetuating that by flashing firearms for no good reason. He's not trying to defend himself. He's trying to show off on social media. I'm sorry, is a gun something that you should be using to show off on social media? What the hell are we talking about? This ain't about your Second Second Amendment right. Ain't nobody saying you can't have a gun. Nobody's saying that. What we are saying is, hey, maybe not have the gun on social media flashing it around like an idiot in a nightclub. Hey, maybe not be waving a gun around while your homeboy is driving a car down the street. It is your responsibility to take advantage of the resources that are in place. And clearly, John Morant failed to do that.
Canty and Carlin, weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and on SiriusXM Channel 80.
From the Granger studio, I'm Jim Baskell reminding you Game 3, the Western Conference Finals, Nuggets and Lakers tomorrow night. Coverage on ESPN Radio at 8 Eastern. You can see it on ABC at 8:30 Eastern. Full reaction to the conference finals with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max weekday morning, 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern, followed by Greeny with Mike Greenberg until noon, right here on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Stay tuned to ESPN Radio for continued coverage of the death of football legend Jim Brown. He's up to 6 points tonight. Jimmy Butler, since joining the Heat, has scored 35-plus points in the playoffs 13 times, a quarter of his games, most in the league over the last 4 seasons. Consider in 231 regular season games, he's done it just 10 times in a Heat uniform, which means he steps up when it matters most. Let's send it back to Coley Harvey.
Thanks, Jim. During Miami's player availability yesterday, guard Gabe Vincent was asked what the mood of the team was like in the locker room right after the Game 1 win, and without flinching, he gave this response: not satisfied. It was a sentiment that was echoed throughout a roster that took a decidedly businesslike approach when asked about already being up a game in this series and snatching that coveted road win. And because of how last year's Eastern Conference Finals finished, with Miami losing that Game 7, the Heat players know that they can't get comfortable with any lead in this series.
Meanwhile, substitutions, Coley, for Boston with Grant Williams and Malcolm Brogdon checking in. Miami ball left side in the corner. A three from Martin won't go, and it's rebounded by Rob Williams. Ahead to Derek White in the front court on the far side. He's being guarded by Strus. About 20 feet out on the left wing. Now doubled. Gives it up to Brogdon up top. Brogdon for three. No good. And rebounded by Butler.
It's one and done for the Boston Celtics, not getting to the offensive window.
Brogdon had 19 points in Game 1. 12 of those came in the first half. Kyle Lowry on the floor for the Heat. He's got the ball on the right side. He was great in the first half of Game 1. Martin on the far wing. Shot clock at 8. Right-hand dribble. Pulls up on the baseline. Falling away. Knocks it down as he's going out of bounds from 18 feet.
He has been such a great addition. Started the year at the power forward position in the starting lineup, but you can play him either way. Off the bench, this guy will fill a role.
And a steal by Butler on the far side, picking off a pass from Tatum. He had 6 steals in Game 1, 2.5 to go in the first. 8-point Miami lead, 22-14. Lowry in the front court, top of the key, hesitation dribble. Gets into the lane, got a defender on his hip. Pump fake, kick out, right side Martin. Shot clock at 8. Martin with a jab step. Lowry on the left wing. He'll drive on Tatum. And 3-second violation as Cody Zeller was camping out deep post right in the paint.
Very interesting possession because Jimmy Butler was spread to the right-hand side of the floor. Kyle Lowry had Robert Williams in front of him, and Jimmy said go. Wanted him to attack the big. They just don't come away with anything on that possession.
Yeah, we could hear it all the way over here. He was on the far side of the floor. We were on the near side, and we could hear it. 2 minutes to go here in the first. Boston down 8 with the ball left side. Brogdon bounces to Tatum on the right wing. Step back three is on the way from Tatum. Not close. Good defense by Martin. Offensive rebound. And the shot clock did not reset, and they get the ball to Tatum for a layup on the left side of the rim.
Opportunistic by Robert Williams, who is generally very quick to the basketball. Great cut by Jason Tatum.
7 points for Tatum, 3 of 4 from the floor. Miami leads it, though, 22-16, 90 seconds to go, opening quarter. Right wing is Butler with Derek White watching him. Butler calling for a screen. Butler using it, moving to his left. Keeps the dribble, drives into the paint, gets double-teamed, and has his shot blocked by White. Tatum's got it now in the front court, driving middle of the lane. Circus shot no good. The tip by Grant Williams, who just checked in a moment ago, and it's up and good. His first minutes of the series. Boston back within 4. Lowry left baseline, drives under the basket. Keeps the dribble, tries to drive, instead stripped by Brogdon, stolen. 3 on 2 left to right. Pull up 3, Brogdon on the right wing, no good. Tatum, though, the offensive rebound. Shovel pass to the left side, and they're going to call a foul on Miami on the pass
on
Tatum.
Yeah, Max Strus is being super physical. Jason basically tipped the ball over. Max Strus, who's pleading with the official. It's a good tip, and Boston gets an opportunity to cut a little bit closer here.
First foul in the last 2 minutes, so side out of bounds. 1 minute to go here in the quarter. Duncan Robinson checking in for Strus. Boston ball, front court to our right. Inbound far side to Brogdon. Brogdon dribbling now to the right wing. Shovel pass underneath. And a dunk by Williams. Great pass to Williams, who got position right in the middle of the lane.
Boston has the biggest player on the floor in Williams. You've got to be able to exploit that with some rim attacks. Good cut in front of the defender by Robert Williams.
6 straight Boston points within 2. 50 seconds left first quarter. Lowry in the front court. In between the rings, fires to Zeller on the right side. He'll drive, go right at the basket. Wild shot, no good. The tip won't go either. Another tip by Zeller, and this time it falls.
9 second chance points. Miami beating them off the offensive window. I tell you what, your second shot offense is as good as your first.
Tatum left side. A 3 is on the way and good from Tatum. He's got 10 points. That's his second 3. Boston within 1.
Very efficient. He loves the 3 on the left-hand side of the floor.
6 second difference in the clocks at the end of the first quarter. Shot clock at 12, game clock at 18. Miami 24, Boston 23. Lowry against Tatum, 40 feet away, middle of the floor. A screen to the right. Robinson catch and shoot, right wing 3. It's a brick, long rebound Tatum. 6 seconds to go. And a foul is called on Miami as Tatum caught the ball. A blocking foul is called on Martin, and that's going to send Tatum to the line, looking to give Boston the lead.
It's why the Strus foul, when he had no opportunity to get the basketball, is pivotal. Because 2 in the final minute, and you give the Celtics free throws. It's not just the fouls. It's when you foul. What's the scenario?
Absolutely. Because they had only 1 team foul, but in the NBA, inside 2 minutes, if you're not close to the penalty, you only get 1 more to give. As Tatum gets the free throw, he's got 11 points. The game is tied at 24 with 6.2 seconds left.
One thing to wonder about, Jaylen Brown, who is not on the floor right now, started this game 1 for 7. You can tell his competitive spirit is flying. It's hard to imagine they walk out of here unless he finds his offensive game.
Second foul shot on the way and good from Tatum. He's got 12 points and Boston has the lead. 6.2 seconds remaining. Inbound baseline right in the backcourt to Lowry, bringing it up the court, crossing the timeline, 2 seconds left, drives into the lane, off balance shot up, around it. Now, it spun around and wouldn't fall. That was a brilliant play by Lowry to get into the paint. At least got a shot off, but it wouldn't go. The Celtics close the first quarter on an 11-2 run. They lead Miami 25-24. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
Hey guys, I'm Tom Patterson, founder and CEO of Tommy John. And this Father's Day, I'm reminding you that our Quick Draw Fly saves guys 217 minutes of unnecessary fumbling per year. So instead of fly fishing in the bathroom, Dad can spend more time out on the water. Our lightweight breathable underwear are perfect for the great outdoors. For guys more likely to recline than cast a line, we've created exclusive loungewear, apparel, and additional underwear styles so comfortable he won't believe it. You probably know our underwear legs never ride up, the waistband never rolls down, and he'll never get a wedgie. Guaranteed. But did you also know you're covered for everything else? All Tommy John is backed by our best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free guarantee. If he doesn't love his first item, you'll get a full refund. Make sure you grab your gifts early. Tommy John. No adjustment needed.
Shop for Dad at Tommy John's Memorial Day sale now through May 30th. Save 30% site-wide at TommyJohn.com/stream. Get 30% off at TommyJohn.com/stream. TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
The Low Post Podcast with Zach Lowe.
As expected, Jaylen Brown made an All-NBA team, and he will now be eligible for the biggest possible contract he could be eligible for. They are immediately facing a decision. Are we putting all our eggs in this basket? Because I can tell you this, if they go to Jaylen Brown and get cute and be like, I know you're eligible for 35%, but can we do like a 30% and maybe it escalates to 31%? Like, that's not going to go over well.
Check out the Low Post Podcast on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts. ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Jason Fitz.
Okay, I've learned my lesson on saying that anything is over. And as I told you, the winner of Game 2 of the Nuggets-Lakers series wasn't necessarily going to have any sort of emphasis moving forward. That being said, I don't feel encouraged if I'm a Lakers fan right now. Not that everything's over. I just don't feel encouraged. Why? Well, think about the way Game 1 went. According to the advanced analytics, game one showed you both teams were wildly hot and all the superstars showed up. So when both teams are wildly hot and all the superstars showed up, the Nuggets found a way to win. Now look at game two. As I expected, and as I said on our show, Fitz and Harry, I expected scoring to be down. I expected efficiency to be down because that's just the way it goes. The numbers were down across the board. So in some senses, it was either a more normalized or an uglier game than usual. And the Nuggets still won. So the Nuggets have now shown you that when all things are at their best or all things are at their most meh, they can still come out on top. That tells you that the only real way for a Lakers win, in my mind, is for the Lakers to be great on a night the Nuggets are off. Jamal Murray is the bigger key than he's getting credit for in this entire series, something we've said several times on radio. He's becoming a superstar in front of our eyes, not just because of the fourth quarter performance, but because he answered the question of how you beat the Nuggets. The real answer to how do you beat Denver is you shut down Jamal Murray for 4 quarters. How do we know that? Well, think about what we saw. Through 3 quarters, he wasn't effective. And through 3 quarters, the Nuggets couldn't get anything going. In the fourth quarter, when the Lakers were just dog-tired and had nothing left in the tank, Jamal Murray absolutely destroyed them. He got hot at the right time, and in doing so reminded us that the real key for the Nuggets isn't just keeping Jokic going. It's making sure Jamal Murray gets fed. When that happens, they win. With the ESPN Radio Sports Beat from Fitz and Harry, I'm Jason Fitz.
From the Granger studio, I'm Jim Basketball. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Nikola Jokic offering another triple-double. Hands it off to Murray, who can't miss in the fourth quarter. Another 3. 14 fourth-quarter points for Jamal Murray, including 4 for 4 from distance.
Yeah, how about 23 of his 37 in the fourth quarter? Nuggets up 2-0, Game 3, Western Conference Finals tomorrow night. Nuggets-Lakers coverage right here on ESPN Radio at 8 Eastern. Jason Tatum, no field goal attempts in the fourth quarter of Game 1 tonight. 4 of 6 on the floor, including 2 threes. Has a dozen early points. Boston up 1 entering the second quarter. Back to Doris and Dave.
And Jim, the next highest scorer for Boston has 3 points, and that's Derek White. So Tatum was the offense scorers in that opening quarter.
Should be noted against Jimmy Butler early, he's 2 for 2. In Game 1, there were 41 times they matched up. He shot 38%. So you wonder, Jason, just figuring things out here in Game 2.
Butler, Adebayo, and Strus all have 6 for Miami. Heat basketball as we start the second quarter with Jimmy Butler on the bench. He played the entire 12 minutes in that opening quarter. Tatum is still in the game. Driving is Bam Adebayo in the paint. Pump fake. Another strip by Boston. It's Grant Williams, and it's off the leg of Adebayo out of bounds on the far side.
You have to credit somebody like Grant Williams, who has not played in 5 games in these playoffs. But when your numbers fall, be ready. Good matchup against Bam because he's got the lateral speed to stay in front and excellent hands on the swipe down.
A lot of deflections here early on for Boston defensively. Tatum on the left wing tries to rip through. Can't get past Martin. Now has Bam on the switch in between the circles, 30 feet away. He's doubled, bounces to Williams, right elbow. Down to the left corner, White puts up a 3. Got it!
That's the other thing Grant gives you, middle of the floor playmaker, decision maker.
And then a steal by Brogdon. They don't have numbers. He pulls up from 3, has it blocked from behind, but he still made it. It got tipped as he shot the ball. I don't know how the ball didn't get swatted into the third row. Instead, it ends up in the basket. 17-2 run right now. Vincent trying to answer with a 3 right side, no. Rebound, Tatum. Dangerous time for Miami. Boston up 7, opening minute, second quarter. Tatum left wing. Guarded by the smaller Vincent. Tatum looking to take him. Left-hand dribble, gets in the paint. Floater from 10 feet, up and in. 19-2 run, timeout Miami. 9-point lead for the Celtics.
Jason Tatum, uber aggressive. Anytime he's got a smaller defender, he's spending a little extra time on the floor here pleading with Tyler Ford. He thought that should have been an and one.
10:46 remaining in the second quarter, 33-24 Boston. You're listening to the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
Hi, I'm Israel Gutierrez, host of the podcast ESPN Daily. Every weekday morning, I'll bring you the best sports story you'll hear all day. Today on ESPN Daily, the WNBA season tips off tonight LaChina Robinson takes us through this season's biggest storylines. So follow us and listen wherever you get good podcasts.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Devontae Adams says he does not see eye to eye on the vision for their offense in Vegas. What does this all tell you, Key? Are they headed for a divorce?
I don't think they're headed for a divorce. Too much money involved, at least this year. You know, maybe next year, maybe the year after, if Josh McDaniels is still around. Devontae Adams knows that, for number one, there's a lot of players in the National Football League that they know their contract, but they don't understand their contract. Devontae Adams is a guy who knows his contract and understands his contract. So he gonna say what he gonna say. He's an all-pro with or without Aaron Rodgers. He's one of the top 2 receivers in the National Football League. Maybe him and Tyreek Hill, depending on who you like. They've got to do what they need to do to put the football in his hands. And right now, like he said, he just don't see eye to eye with that type of style of which they want to run.
GJ and Max, followed by Greeny. Mornings on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
From the Granger studio, I'm Jim Basketball. Again, reminding you, Game 3 Western Conference Finals, Nuggets, Lakers tomorrow night. Our coverage comes your way at 8 Eastern. Denver unbeaten at home. The Lakers, though, are as well. Full reaction coverage of the finals from Conference Finals from Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, weekday morning, 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern. It's followed by Greeny with Mike Greenberg until noon, right here on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. All 8 Celtics players who played have scored, led by Jason Tatum's 14. They're on a 19-2 run. Back to Doris and Dave.
Hey, Jim, 6 straight empty possessions for Miami. Boston has outscored the Heat in the second quarter, 8-0. It's 33-24 Celtics with 10:46 to play in the second quarter.
Got to be impressed with the Boston Celtic defense, level of physicality, ability to guard every action. And listen, the Miami Heat, they've taken 14 shots in the paint. They've made just 4 of those.
Feels like a dangerous time for Miami. It's interesting that Eric Spoelstra is keeping Jimmy Butler on the bench. Played the entire first quarter, but has not been in yet here in the second.
Exactly the same rotation as last game.
Martin with the ball front court to our left. Finds Lowry in between the circles. Has a screen to his left. Tries to go up for the shot. And they're going to call a foul on Tatum. And that is going to be the second on him. And it's going to be a side out of bounds.
And in the second quarter of the last game, if you remember, it was Kyle Lowry's shot making that buoyed the offense in the absence of Jimmy Butler. Can he repeat it here?
He had 13 points in the first half of game 1. Bam Adebayo with the ball right side. Handoff. Duncan Robinson, top of the key. Puts up a triple. It's short. Might have traveled anyway. Rebound Tatum into the front court. Keeps the dribble on the right side, being watched by 3 members of the Heat. He's in the corner now. Throws it back to Brogdon, driving into the lane. Floater. Big shot good from Brogdon.
If you're sending 3 bodies at Jason Tatum on the swing, you can get a straight line drive like Malcolm did.
Boston up 11 now. And Kyle Lowry dribble drive to the left side. A lot of contact, no foul. He's got it in between the circles, 30 feet away. Keeps the dribble, stops at the elbow. Left wing Martin puts it on the deck, goes right at the chest of Williams. A hook shot is good with the right hand off the window.
He's falling away from 8 feet with Robert Williams challenging. Folks, that is a big-time tough shot.
35-26 Boston, 9:45 left first half. Tatum with the ball at the midcourt stripe, moving to his left, doubled there. It's Derek White, long 3 from straight on. It's good. Derek White drills his 3rd triple.
That's Joe Mazzulla, right? If you have an open 3, he never wants you to pass it. Derek White was well beyond the arc, but that's money.
Largest lead for Boston at 12, 38-26. Duncan Robinson fires to Adebayo, right side. Great cut by Robinson. Good pass. Baseline right. Robinson with the layup. Bam found him. 38-28. 3 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Brogdon, top of the circle. Drives again. Layup with the left hand block, but goaltending. Bam Adebayo got it on the way down. Count the basket.
6th man of the year, Malcolm Brogdon. Uber aggressive. All season long, he has been in command of the second unit. He's aggressively hunted 3s in transition, couple drive blow-bys.
He's got 7. White has 9, so great bench production early on for Boston. 12-point lead for the Celtics. Adebayo right wing. Falls down as he tries to drive through the lane. And we'll see if they call it in the active shooting. If the second team found out Lowry and Grant Williams get into it, Duncan Robinson and Robert Williams also get tangled up. But then the officials jump in. Security jumps in as well before things get ugly. There was a little bit of pushing. No punches or anything that severe. The officials are discussing whether to call any technicals and also discussing whether it was a shooting foul or not. It's on Grant Williams.
Doesn't look like they're going to review anything, so this looks like it's staying just a common foul.
But it is a shooting foul, they say. First on Williams, second on Boston, so Bam at the line for free throws. With Celtics up 40-28 here in Game 2, trying to even the series. Game 3 and 4 back in Miami. 8:57 to go here in the first half. Adebayo's first free throw on the way, and it's good.
Grant Williams has played 7 minutes. He's got a bucket, a rebound, an assist, and a block. He's provided edgy defense. He's a threat from three. So I like Joe Mazzulla pulling the trigger and putting him on the floor.
Jaylen Brown just checked back in for Boston. He struggled in the first quarter. Actually, the Celtics started to make their run when he went out of the game. 1 for 7 for Jaylen Brown. Bam at the strike. Miami 5 of 5. Adebayo 3 of 3. Now 4 of 4 as he knocks that one down.
And I said this to you in the break. Jaylen Brown, when he re-enters, just needs to settle into the game. I like him uber aggressive. Just make sure the quality of your shots are what you want.
He's got the ball front court right, being guarded by Vincent with his team up 10. 8:45 to go in the second quarter. Top of the key, Brown fires a three. Too strong. Rebound Brogdon, but he couldn't handle it. He tried to tap it out, and it's into control of Jimmy Butler, who's back on the floor for the Heat. Front court left, being guarded by Derek White. Butler skips to Martin on the right side. Now Butler has it again. Shot clock at 12. Butler at the top of the circle. Stops there. Gives back to Martin. He's playing catch. Now Martin shoots a three. Right side. It's an air ball. Saved by Bam Adebayo. Left baseline, but he's out of bounds. And it'll be Boston ball.
Cody Martin pleading that Robert Williams got a piece of that. He's adamant, but Zach Zarbo was right there defensively. Did it look on the replay like he might have tipped it?
It did, but maybe Bam was out of bounds when he tried to save it. Jaylen Brown, right wing, skips to White, left side. And they're going to call an offensive foul here on Rob Williams on the screen. That's 2 on him.
So just going back to the three-point attempt 2 possessions ago by Jaylen Brown, I thought it was an excellent shot. Drive, draw 2 by Malcolm Brogdon, open 3. So good shot, just missed it.
Bam Adebayo with the ball in the middle of the floor. Now fires to the right side on an open look for Martin, who swishes home a 3. Miami back within 7, 40-33. Boston, 8 minutes to go first half.
Robert Williams would have been the guy to challenge, but he got hung up on the screen.
Plus 2 fouls on Williams, 2 on Tatum, who's on the bench right now for Boston. Left side is White, drive to the elbow, kick out right wing, Brogdon, a 3 is up, no good. And rebound, Bam. Grant Williams came flying in there to get the offensive rebound, just fumbled the ball. Butler on the left side on the front court. Has 2 Celtics on him. Now Derek White's got him on one-on-one on the left wing. Duncan Robinson on the catch, driving right side. Leaves it for Bam Adebayo. Low right, puts up the shot, missed it, batted it around, fights for the loose ball, out of bounds, baseline left, off of Boston. 7:24 remaining in the first half, 40-33, Celtics lead. Miami ball. Marcus Smart checking back in for the C's. He'll replace Brogdon, who was terrific, with 7 points off the bench in 8 minutes.
Miami last possession switched into a zone. It's rare they do that when Jimmy's on the floor, but I think they're just trying to keep Boston off balance.
Vincent inbounding baseline left, fires to Adebayo on the wing. Hand off Duncan Robinson in between the rings. Throws to the right side, Martin. Dribbles into the lane with the left hand. Goes up with a layup, and it's good from the left side of the rim for Martin.
He is a tough driver. He's got creative ability around the rim, takes excellent angles.
7-0 Miami run to get back within 5. Martin has 9. He was great in game 1 as well. Derek White left baseline, had it stripped out of bounds, baseline to our right, and it's going to stay with Boston 11 to shoot. Caleb Martin had 15 points in game 1. He had 6 in the fourth, played the entire fourth quarter. Played 9 minutes so far here in the first half and has 9 points. Smart inbounds White, catch and shoot, left wing 3. It's way off the mark and rebounded by Martin of Miami. Butler in the front court, 40-35. Boston leads, 6:45 to go first half. Butler fires to Martin right side. He'll try another three. That one's good. Martin with the hot hand for the Heat. Miami back within 2. They've scored the last 10 points in the game. 6.5 to go. 40-38 Celtics. Brown in between the circles. Left-hand dribble now. Stumbles, almost traveled. Kick out White on the right side. White drives middle of the lane. Handoff. Rob Williams. Reverse slam with the right hand. Good plus a foul. 3-point chance. They're going to call Bam Adebayo for the personal, his second.
That's a big bucket because Boston had built a lead that was feeling confident and comfortable. Jason Tatum went out, and the offense seemed to disappear completely. It has been a stretch of struggle. And again, I'm going to go back. You said it. I thought Jaylen Brown did travel the last time he touched it. They didn't call it. He's 1 for 8.
But they get the basket and the foul on Bam. His second, first team foul on the Heat. And so Williams at the line trying to complete the 3-point play. Just the third foul shot for Boston here in the first half. And it's off the front rim on a line drive and no good. A rebound by Adebayo. His 7th board to go with 8 points and 3 assists. Miami ball with Jimmy Butler holding it in the front court. Straight away about 30 feet out. Got Grant Williams on him. Left-hand dribble. Now crossover. Drives right side. Layup is good off the window. Tough shot, Butler.
Just knows when to attack the switch. Goes right into the chest of Grant.
Now in the left corner, Derek White had it go off his fingertips, hit his right foot out of bounds. It'll be Miami ball, 42-40. Boston leads. Midway point of the second quarter, 4th turnover by the Celtics.
So they're not playing the double big lineup. Robert Williams out, Al Horford in. They want to keep one big. It gives you that extra shooter playmaker. But with the difference being when Al is on the floor, Dave, they can go 5 out offensively.
Tatum still on the bench for Boston. Butler with it in the front court, left side. Bounce pass to Adebayo, face up on the left wing, guarded by Horford. Fires underneath, Robinson, layup good with the left hand. The game is tied at 42 apiece. Joe Mazzulla calls a timeout.
Bam Adebayo in complete command of the offense at times. He's got 4 assists, has hit Duncan Robinson twice for layups on a back cut.
Great team offensive basketball by Miami to tie the game. It was 40-28. Now it's 42 apiece with 5:46 left in the second quarter. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app presented by Indeed.
This is Greeny.
Shefty is like full of energy, racing around with all his phones at one time. He's got 8 million things going on. Woj is the opposite. Woj will be sitting in the room. He's eating, he's talking, he's chatting with everyone. And all of a sudden, and he'll get up and he'll walk out the door. A minute later on his Twitter feed, there's some enormous breaking story. I've come to learn when he leaves the room, something's about to happen.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
What's your Mount Rushmore of food?
I'll go grapes. I'll go mango.
Ooh, good one.
I love mango.
Whoa, how'd I overlook mango?
I'll go banana. And then I'll go with the classic apple, man.
But you're not walking into, you're not going to get an apple.
I'm not going to get a banana.
No, I would totally go get a banana. I don't buy apples from my crib.
Key, J, and Max. Followed by Greeny. Mornings on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. The biggest names in sports are on ESPN Radio.
Tyrese Maxey now joining us courtside. It was a big-time win, man. We let the game kind of slip away from us, but to be resilient like that and everybody make plays down the stretch, that was big time.
Stephen Curry with us here on ESPN Radio.
Honestly, it's hard for a lot of guys on our team because they're capable of contributing, but sometimes the opportunity isn't always there. But the message is stay ready.
Josh Hart is joining us.
6 years I've been waiting to get into the playoffs, man. So I'm not taking it for granted. I'm playing as long as I can, every second I can, and I'm just taking it all in.
Visiting with D'Angelo Russell, I'm a product of my environment. Honestly, I got to brush shoulders with some of the greats and just learned a lot of things from being in their system and their organizations.
Klay Thompson joining us.
I can hear how tired you are, brother.
Oh, PJ, I feel great. We got another quarter in
great. I don't know about that.
The biggest names in sports come here, and it all starts weekday mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, and continues all day. This is ESPN Radio.
Jim Basketball from the Granger Studio reminding you full reaction to the conference finals with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max weekday morning, 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern, and that's followed by Greeny with Mike Greenberg until noon right here on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Stay tuned to ESPN Radio for continued coverage of the death of football legend Jim Brown. And again, we remind you, the Miami Heat have never won, excluding the bubble, the first 2 games of a playoff series on the road. Now, following game 1 loss, the home team has won 16 straight playoff games. Celtics led by as many as 12. That lead is gone. It's all even at 42. Let's send it back to Coley Harvey.
Thanks, Jim. During the stretch just before this last time out, Miami Heat had guard Caleb Martin just going off on a real heat check. 10 of the Heat 13 in one stretch there were scored by Caleb. And after 2 of the threes that he knocked down, he was shouting toward his bench. He was feeling quite fired up. He's also feeling confident. Just yesterday, he spoke on that, saying that as the playoffs go on and the more experience he gets and he starts hitting these big shots, that confidence goes through the roof. And we're seeing it, Dave.
Tie game, 42 apiece, 5:40 remaining in the first half of Game 2. Miami trying to go up 2-0 with Games 3 and 4 back in South Florida. Jaylen Brown left wing, pull-up jumper, three-pointer is off the mark, rebound, bam. Jaylen Brown is 1 for 9 and 0 for 3 from 3. Jimmy Butler with the ball. Miami looking to retake the lead. Got it on the left side of the front court. Bounce pass to Bam on the left wing facing up. It's Robinson on the near wing. Robinson going to put up a 3 and knocks it down. Duncan Robinson gives the Heat a 3-point lead. And then a steal with Vincent getting the ball in the right corner. Careless play by Boston on the inbound. 5 minutes to go, first half. Butler driving right of the lane. Kicks it out to Martin on the right wing. Pull up to the right elbow, shoots and hits. The lead is 5.
Just taking what the defense gives him. Efficient. 1 pull-up jump shot. He lifted the defender, Martin, with the up fake. That's easy basketball.
When's the last time we had 19-2 runs back-to-back? 1 by Boston, now by Miami. 5-point Heat lead. Horford, low right. Tries to muscle it up, missed the shot. Loose ball underneath, rebound, bam. That's his 9th board. Pushing tempo across the timeline. 4.5 remaining in the first half. Miami 47, Boston 42. Butler at the hash mark on the far side. Stops the dribble, lobs to Bam, right baseline. Bam drives, pull up from 8 feet, and it's in and out. Rebound Horford. Adebayo and Jaylen Brown both hit the deck. Boston ball. Smart racing the court. Dribble handoff. Tatum is back out there. It's Horford top of the key. Swing it Brown left side. He'll drive, gets into the lane. Layup is good for Jaylen Brown. His second basket.
When your jumper isn't going, the best thing to do is get near the cup. He's got the athleticism and driving ability, Jaylen Brown, to do exactly that.
47-44 Miami. 4 minutes to go, first half. Left side, it's Adebayo in the front court, guarded by Horford. Drives right wing, gets through the lane. Stops, goes up with a left hand, missed it off the back iron. And Horford gets the rebound on the far side. Horford will bring it across the timeline. Dribbles on the left wing in the front court now. Jaylen Brown driving left baseline. Goes up and hammers it down with the right hand. 4 straight points for Jaylen Brown.
Gabe Vincent gambled, jumped the passing lane, doesn't get the steal, puts his team at a deficit. Excellent drive and read by Jaylen Brown.
47-46. Heat leads by 1. 3:20 to go in the first half. Crowd on its feet. Butler left side now gets through the lane, gets hammered. Ball out of bounds. They're going to say no foul. Just knocked out by Smart.
I think they did call a foul.
Yep, they did call it. First on Smart. And so he'll go to the line. 3rd team foul. Butler with 8 points. 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Brogdon coming in. Grant Williams going to the bench. Jaylen Brown doesn't have the mask on, Doris. I'm trying to think, did he have it on early in the game?
So he's been a little up and down in both the Sixers series and here about when he has it on or off.
First free throw is good from Butler. Miami by 2 with 3:15 to play in the first half. Boston trying to even the series at 1 game apiece. Game 3 Sunday night right here on ESPN Radio. Jimmy Butler was talking with Eric Spoelstra probably about the defensive assignment after Boston made a lineup change. He knocks down the second foul shot. Miami perfect, 8 of 8 at the stripe. And a 3-point Heat lead with 3:12 remaining.
Miami goes back to the zone.
Tatum with the ball in the middle of the court, about 30 feet away. Fires to Horford, high post left, throws to the left corner, Brogdon. A 3 is blocked, loose ball, and it's taken in by Zeller. It was blocked by Butler. Miami ball. 2:50 on the clock here in the first half. Butler driving right baseline, keeps the dribble, and then tried to throw it underneath, and the ball goes into the backcourt out of bounds. It's going to be Boston ball. Errant pass by Butler. He looks frustrated with his teammate Cody Zeller. I think he thought Zeller was going to be right there.
But it felt for a stretch that this half could get away from you if you're Miami. You now have a 3-point lead. And again, 37 clutch time wins. The more this game goes on and it's close, the more pressure on Boston's shoulders.
Tatum gets into the paint, fires to the right corner for Brogdon. Now back to Tatum on the baseline right, trying to spin on Zeller. Driving, backing him in, double team. Tatum goes into the lane and tries a left-handed shot that's short. Rebound Butler. Races into the front court, fires to Martin, who lost his footing and traveled as he was about to score. Just lost his footing and gave the ball back to Boston.
Boston dodged a bullet there. That could have been an easy two, just couldn't handle the pass cleanly.
Miami by 3 with 2:15 left in the second quarter. Smart throws underneath, the ball picked off by Robinson. So Miami ball with Jimmy Butler dribbling at the left high post. He goes into the lane and misses the shot off the window. Rebound Zeller going, and he's going to bring it back out. He could have gone back up, but didn't have confidence, dribbled it out. Shot clock at 8. Butler at the hash mark on the far side. Drives with 4 to shoot, gets into the paint, kicks it out. Left corner, a 3 from Martin on the way. No good. And it's batted around and finally controlled by Tatum. In the front court to Brogdon, middle of the lane. Gets the ball blocked by Martin, but a foul on Duncan Robinson as Brogdon went chest to chest with Robinson. Brogdon will shoot 2.
It's an underrated aspect to me of team basketball. If a teammate has it, even if you're the Celtics' best player, and he's got a 5 or 6 foot advantage on you, push it ahead and then sprint. And Jason Tatum makes the right read, and Malcolm Brogdon finds his way to the free throw line. The push ahead pass, particularly when it covers 10 or more feet, such a big part of NBA basketball. Trying to create advantages in this league is hard. There are little windows of opportunity that make it easier. That's one of them.
Brogdon hits the first free throw. 14 foul on Miami. Brogdon with 8 points. Second foul shot good. And Boston back within 1:43 to go in the half. 49-48 Miami. Leading scorer in the game is Cody Martin. 14 points for Miami.
The Heat zone has had an impact here, though, Dave. I think it's changing the tempo.
Tatum has 14 for Boston, but only 2 here in the second quarter. Butler with the ball right wing. Now dribbles to the left side. Shot clock at 7. Backs up. Guarded by Brogdon. Keeps the bounce. Timer at 4. Butler crossover. Sidestep long 2. Too strong. Rebound Smart on the backside. Smart brings it into the front court. Bounce pass underneath. Knocked away by Butler. And into the hands of Mart. Another forced turnover by the Heat defense. Butler on the right side. 1:05 to go in the half. Miami by 1. Throws back to the midcourt line to Vincent. Now on the right side, Butler guarded by Horford. Shot clock at 10. Butler driving, right side, goes at Horford, now spins back. On the baseline, fall-away jumper, no good, and it's rebounded by Tatum. Has it stripped, though. Tatum gets caught in the air and hands it off to Horford in the front court. Horford throws to the right side, Smart, thought about the 3, now drives, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line. Got knocked to the ground by Zeller. His first foul. 2 free throws here, a chance for Boston to regain the lead. 42.5 seconds to go, 49-48 Miami.
Marcus Smart looks to be holding that left upper quad area. I don't know if he took some contact there. We'll shoot the free throws. He's taking his hand off it here. We'll see how he's moving.
Smart, 2 points so far. First free throw is good, and the game is tied at 49. We had a 19-2 run by Boston, then a 19-2 run by Miami. We're all even here in the closing moments of the first half. Smart ready for a second free throw. Strus checking back in for Miami. Checking in for Duncan Robinson, who played a lot here in the first half. 12 minutes. Smart gets the second free throw. Celtics by a point. Vincent brings it across the timeline on the left side. Uses the screen. Moves to his right. Now throws up a 3 on the left side. And drills it. Gabe Vincent switching it through to give Miami a 2-point lead.
I just love the name, Gunslinger.
Tatum trying to answer right wing. His 3, no good. Rebound Zeller. Miami up 2. A 5-second difference in the game and shot clocks here at the end of the half. 15 to shoot, 20 on the game clock. Butler with the ball, guarded by Jaylen Brown, about 40 feet out on the right side of the floor. Miami 52, Boston 50. Butler throws to the right corner, Strus. Dribble drive, now pulls it back out. Handoff Butler in the corner on the right wing. Shot clock at 2. Butler lost it, now regathers, fires, and hits as the timer expires. 5 seconds to go in the half. Inbound Smart, midcourt line. 3 seconds left. Smart doubled, leads in, puts up a 3. No good. And that's the end of the first half with Miami up by 4, 54-50.
What a response by the Miami Heat. And the zone had an impact. They changed the tempo of the game. Boston went 1 for 5 with 2 turnovers against the zone. The game switched and felt different after Miami changed the tempo with that.
And a chance for Miami to go up 2-0. Jimmy Butler is exhausted, had hands on his knees, doubled over, still on the court. Don't know if he's shaken up at all or just tired. He played 21 minutes at 12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and his team is up 54-50 at halftime as we send it to Jim Basquill in the studio with the AutoZone halftime report.
All right, Dave, thanks so much. And I'm not sure I've ever seen a playoff game that's had consecutive 19-2 runs. Boston's countered by Miami. The NBA halftime show on ESPN Radio is presented by AutoZone. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help troubleshoot the likely cause of your pesky check engine light for free and get you back on the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Coming up next on the AutoZone halftime report, Woj will tell you if Kyrie is likely to return to Big D. That's next. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Hey guys, I'm Tom Patterson, founder and CEO of Tommy John. On this Father's Day, I'm reminding you that our Quick Draw Fly saves guys 217 minutes of unnecessary fumbling per year. So instead of fly fishing in the bathroom, Dad can spend more time out on the water. Our lightweight breathable underwear are perfect for the great outdoors. For guys more likely to recline than cast a line, we've created exclusive loungewear, apparel, and additional underwear styles so comfortable he won't believe it. You probably know our underwear legs never ride up, the waistband never rolls down, and he'll never get a wedgie. Guaranteed. But did you also know you're covered for everything else? All Tommy John is backed by our best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free guarantee. If he doesn't love his first item, you'll get a full refund. Make sure you grab your gifts early. Tommy John. No adjustment needed.
Shop for Dad at Tommy John's Memorial Day sale now through May 30th. Save 30% site-wide at TommyJohn.com/stream. Get 30% off at TommyJohn.com/stream. TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
Jason Fitz and Harry Douglas are Fitz and Harry.
If Daryl Morey is letting pride be the reason in what he thinks the system should be, letting that be the reason for somebody that was the MVP and a top 3 MVP vote getter for the last 3 seasons with Doc as the head coach. You already got rid of Doc. If it costs you Embiid, then this might be the dumbest front office organization move we have seen in recent NBA memory.
Fitz and Harry, weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Jim Basquill back on the AutoZone halftime report where the Miami Heat lead the Boston Celtics 54-50, looking to grab a 2-0 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. The NBA on ESPN Radio is brought to you by the makers of 5 Hour Energy. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com. Meantime, when the Dallas Mavericks traded for Kyrie Irving, they were the 4th seed in the West. They finished the season 7-25, from 4 to out of the play-in altogether. Let's just say it didn't work as planned with Irving. ESPN NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski joined us earlier on the likelihood if Irving returns to Big D.
I do think there's going to be a lot of interest in him because of the talent. The talent is still there. He is a high-level player. I think because of the wide-open nature of the league, there's plenty of people who can sell themselves on it, but how do they get him? That will be the tricky part because the teams who have cap space aren't contending teams typically. So are there sign and trade mechanisms that are possible to make it where you can have an opportunity if he wanted to play for you? But Dallas having the ability to pay more than anybody else means a lot. So certainly that's a tremendous advantage for the Mavericks is they don't have to move anything around to re-sign him at the biggest possible number. But there's other teams who would have to be much more creative and would need Dallas's cooperation to do it for the most part. And so I do think it probably gives them an advantage in free agency.
Woj, Draymond Green has an opt-out in his future and a punch-out in his past. How does that impact his future in Golden State?
Oh, I think they want him back in Golden State very much. It's just going to be a negotiation. You know, if he declines the option, then he gives them the opportunity to negotiate a whole new deal with them. I think both sides are very motivated to stay together. My sense is that Draymond Green wants to continue with that group. They want to continue with him. It always becomes about what's that number, what does it look like, years on a deal, and what the money looks like.
And Draymond and the Warriors taken out of these playoffs by LeBron and the Los Angeles Lakers, who trailed the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals 2-0. Coming up next in the AutoZone halftime report, our first half recap of Game 2. Heat and Celtics. Jason Tatum got off to an early start. How did Miami respond? You're listening to the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Austin is not dogless.
They've lost their dog. There are missing signs all over, like Massachusetts. Dog missing. Call Brad Stevens if found.
Check out the Dominique Foxworth Show anywhere you get your podcast. The NBA playoffs continue on ESPN Radio.
Off to Murray, who can't miss in the fourth quarter. Another three.
After winning games 1 and 2 at home, the Nuggets take a 2-0 lead to Los Angeles, where the Lakers face a critical Game 3. How will they respond? Game 3 of the Lakers and Nuggets, presented by Indeed. Coverage begins tomorrow at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC. You can also listen on the ESPN app and on SiriusXM Channel 80.
Hey, y'all, this is Marty Smith.
And I'm Ryan McGee. And we are
Marty and McGee. Check us out every Saturday morning on ESPN Radio and the SEC Network.
Of course, we'll be all over the biggest news in the world of sports.
And plenty of that Marty and McGee type stuff.
Like the Hillbilly Headlines.
And some of the craziest callers you've ever heard in your life.
It might be the only reason to wake up that early on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, for sure. It's Marty and McGee.
From 7 to 10 Eastern.
On ESPN Radio and the SEC Network.
ESPN's Kevin Nagandi.
You know, growing up, no one looked like me that was a major sports athlete. There were no Indian Americans. And if I wanted Indian star athletes on my TV screen, I had to watch my dad's VHS tapes of cricket stars in India. Then Vijay Singh emerged on the PGA Tour in the mid-90s. And I know he's from Fiji, but it didn't matter. Somebody looked like us. Now things have changed, especially in the last 2 decades. When you look at basketball, Sim Buller, Satnam Singh, big men, and most recently, Ryan Agarwal at Stanford. We are rooting for him.
ESPN Radio, celebrating and amplifying the stories of Asian American, Pacific Islander, and Asian athletes and sports figures.
I spent a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. And in 09, it was sparks from me, your chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
The Baseball Tonight podcast.
The idea that a hitter as good as him, who's been in a lot of pressure-packed situations, is suddenly distracted by, his teammates chirping in the dugout, which is something that happens a lot throughout the course of a baseball game. It felt like a little bit of a stretch.
Oh, by the way, he's glancing at the dugout at the exact moment the pitcher's coming set.
The Baseball Tonight podcast is on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
How to get out my shut, I've been laying low. They get real when it comes to the playoffs.
It's a beautiful time for basketball with 2 teams on the cusp of the NBA Finals. LA.
A just masterpiece by LeBron. Who else but the king?
Denver.
There's the unbelievable passing ability of Nikola Jokic.
It's Western Conference Finals time. Nuggets, Lakers. Game 3 tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern on ABC. Presented by AT&T 5G.
The NBA playoffs continue on ESPN Radio.
Around and down! A dagger 3 by Butler!
The Heat storm into Boston and steal Game 1. Now the Celtics face a critical Game 2. Will they respond? Or are the Heat taking a 2-0 lead to Miami? Game 2 of the Celtics and Heat, presented by Indeed. Coverage begins tonight at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen on the ESPN app and on SiriusXM Channel 80. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
What about that tone makes me believe that Julius Randle is one of the leaders of this team? Maybe they wanted more. You're damn right they wanted it more.
Wake up and get up with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Greg in Virginia, you're on KJM.
Y'all have an awesome show. Listen every morning. J. Will, got a love-hate relationship with you, man. 82 with you. I love you now.
Key, J, and Max. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
The Women's College World Series.
Ready to raise a ruckus in Oklahoma City.
8 teams and a world of possibility.
Is mine. They are picking up the bats. You don't get out of your seat. You don't blink.
Softball's best compete for the ultimate crown.
A championship is contested on the grandest stage in softball.
The NCAA Women's College World Series, presented by Capital One, begins June 1st on ESPN.
This weekend on ESPN Radio.
Drilled right center field, and it's gone.
Interleague action takes center stage once again.
And Josh Naylor is racing around the bases.
Josh Naylor leads the Cleveland Guardians into Citi Field to face Francisco Lindor and the New York Mets.
The one to Lindor, and he drives this one a no-doubter.
The Guardians at the Mets. Coverage begins tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern and Sunday at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen on the ESPN app. You're listening to the NBA on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Jim Baskell back on the AutoZone halftime report, reminding you following Game 1 loss, the home team has won 16 straight playoff games, with the Celtics looking to continue that trend on this night. The first half recap brought to you by the makers of 5 Hour Energy. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com. So the Heat got off to a fast start, and this one jumped out 9-0 run to lead 9-2. But Jason Tatum had a dozen in the opening quarter. Celtics were up one after one. Then they caught fire from deep.
Tatum left wing, guarded by the smaller Vincent. Tatum looking to take him. Left-hand dribble, gets in the paint, floater from 10 feet, up and in. 19-2 run, timeout Miami. 9-point lead for the Celtics.
How about that? A 19-2 run for the Celtics. They were up by as much as a dozen, but Miami would counter that 19-2 run with one of their own.
Jimmy Butler with the ball. Miami looking to retake the lead. Got it on the left side of the front court. Bounce pass to Bam on the left wing facing up. It's Robinson on the near wing. Robinson going to put up a three and knocks it down. Duncan Robinson gives the Heat a 3-point lead.
And Duncan Robinson from downtown. The Heat go on their own 19-2 run. Caleb Morton had 8 points during that run. And, of course, Jimmy Butler got in on the fun.
Butler with the ball, guarded by Jaylen Brown, about 40 feet out on the right side of the floor. Miami 52, Boston 50. Butler throws to the right corner, Strus. Dribble drive, now pulls it back out. Handoff Butler in the corner on the right wing. Shot clock at 2. Butler lost it, now regathers, fires, and hits as the timer expires.
And Jimmy Butler had a dozen. Miami was actually led by Caleb Martin, who had 14 points. He was there, Rui Hachimura, on this night. The Celtics led by Jason Tatum's 14. Heat lead it 54-50 at the break. Coming up next in the AutoZone halftime report, Heat down a dozen, go up 4 at the half. Can they win on the road in a playoff series for the first 2 games, for the first time in franchise history? Second half is coming up. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Greeny.
He is a player who is prone to injury as the season goes on. He's going to wind up being one of the greatest players ever, never to win a championship.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Jim Baskell back on the AutoZone halftime report. 119-2 run countered by another as they heat up 4 entering the third quarter. Let's send you back to Boston with Coley Harvey, Doris Burke, and Dave Pasch.
We've seen a lot of Game 1 road victories here in the playoffs. 16 consecutive Game 2s have been won by the team that lost at home in Game 1 by an average of 17 points per game. So it felt like when that first 19-2 run happened, maybe Boston's going to pull away. But no, great response by the Heat, and Miami has the lead 54-50 as we get ready to start the second half. 26-10 run by the Heat to end that first half.
So Jimmy Butler always plays the first 12 minutes of the first quarter, then sits for an extended period. In game one, it was Kyle Lowry who helped them on the offensive end. Tonight, it was Caleb Martin who shot 4 for 5 when he had Robert Williams on him. He has a career high for a half in a playoff game with his 14, I was right the first time. And for the Boston Celtics, Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown combined for 4 for 15. They were minus 20 and minus 17, respectively. I said it early in the first when Jaylen Brown was about 1 for 7. They can't walk out of here with a win unless he settles into the game and gets to some comfortability offensively.
And if they don't walk out with a win, this may be the last time we see the Celtics on their home floor. Because if they go down 0-2 with games 3 and 4 in Miami, the Heat perfect at home in the playoffs, 5-0. Although Boston has been better on the road in the playoffs than they've been at home. That's asking a lot, though, for the Celtics if they were to lose this game to go win even one down in South Florida. But we'll see.
Do they start Derek White here in this half? So no double big. I'm sorry, I'm seeing Horford, Brown, Tatum, Smart, and White. So they don't start the double big. No Robert Williams to start the second half.
Tatum, 14 points, 12 of those came in the first quarter. 14 points you mentioned from Martin, 12 of those came in the second quarter. Butler with 12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Bam Adebayo, 9 rebounds, all on the defensive end, 5 assists, 8 points. And Miami starts with possession here in the third quarter. Bam on the left wing, guarded by Horford, who really provided very little offensively for the Celtics in game one and also in the first half of game two. Strus with the ball near the midcourt line, drives now into the lane. Right-hand layup is good as somehow Derek White let him get all the way to the basket.
Eric Spoelstra was telling us he's not just a flat three-point shooter. He can put it on the deck.
Miami by 6, 30 seconds into the third. 56-50, the Heat in front. Biggest lead for Miami was 8. Biggest for Boston in the first half was 12. Tatum lobs underneath, knocked away by Love. A turnover to start the third quarter by the Celtics.
Just careless. You've never had the angle, the defender in front of you, a silly pass.
Vincent with it on the left side of the front court, guarded by Tatum, lob to Bam. He's got Brown on him, skips the Strus. Right corner 3 on the way. Front rim, no. Rebound, Tatum. 8th board for Tatum. Ahead to Smart in the front court, but 4 defenders back for the Heat. Smart on the right wing, guarded by Bam. Out of Jaylen Brown. He'll try a 3. That's good. Much needed triple, the first for Jaylen Brown tonight.
So you talk about playing with pace. Early, crisp passing, a deep corner run by Jaylen Brown.
56-53 Miami, opening minute and a half. Bam Adebayo, left wing 15-footer, and he hits it.
They love that play. Isolate Bam on the left-hand side of the floor, let him operate against a big in space. You sink in a little bit and get see the mid-range.
58-53, 10-20 on the clock. Third quarter, Derek White on the right wing, drives, stops, kicks it out. Tatum gets it back to White. Right corner, got caught in the air, fires to Tatum near midcourt. Shot clock at 5. Left side, Brown fakes the 3. Now step back, puts it up. Way off the mark on the 3. Ugly possession for Boston. Rebound, Butler.
He had a driving lane, Jaylen Brown. He hesitated to take a tough step back.
Butler in between the circles, guarded by Derek White in the front court to our right. Fires to Kevin Love, and now hits Adebayo, left elbow. Bam facing up, looking for a defender around him. Spinning, shot clock at 4. Drives, goes right at Horford. Turnaround jumper. No good. Off the back rim, long rebound. Tatum pushing tempo across the line. On the right side of the front court now, stops and gives it to Smart. They skip it now to the left side. Horford 3. Not close. Rebound, Jimmy Butler.
Al Horford really struggling. 0 for 4 from three-point territory.
He had no second half points in game one. Butler drives, hangs it, blocked by Derek White. Second one for White. Front court to the left. Marcus Smart hits the trailer. Brown who drives and lays it in with the right hand.
2 possessions where if it's not transition, it's semi-transition. Great read by Jaylen Brown.
9-minute mark, third quarter, 58-55 Miami. Leading the series 1-0. Game 3 Sunday night in Miami. Butler on the right wing. Jab step, dribble drive, left hand, spins, goes to the right hand. Bank shot, no good, or is good, as Jimmy Butler is up to 14 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists.
There's an efficiency to what he does. It's 1 or 2 dribbles, gets into his spot, and it happens quick.
Miami 60, Boston 55, 8:40 remaining here in the third quarter. Tatum with the left-hand dribble on the left side of the court. Step back, puts up a three. It's no good. One and done again for Boston. Easy rebound for Kevin Love of Miami.
And when they control the tempo, to me it's when Miami is at its most dangerous. They were 29th in tempo. Run it slow, give the ball to Jimmy, and let him make good decisions.
Butler with it at the Celtic logo, about 40 feet away. Now on the left side, Derek White gets drilled on the screen and is hurt. Got hit in the midsection, the lower part of the midsection, as Kevin Love picks up his first foul. Hip to the groin area. And White, understandably, still shaken as he tries to walk it off.
I'll let you speak to that.
Are you saying it's happened to me? Is the assumption that I've been there? It's not fun. Not a fun place to be. But White staying in the game, we certainly give him credit for that. White driving here. Right-hand layup is good. Boy, what a comeback. Derek White cuts it to three. 8-minute mark, 60-57 Miami. Out of breath, yet still able to get to the basket, lay it in with the right hand. Kevin Love, left wing, about 18 feet away. Not even looking for a shot. Now puts it up. Can't score. Batted out by Tatum to Jaylen Brown. 3-on-3 for the Celtics. Brown into the front court. On the right side. Fires to Tatum underneath. Low left. Lays it in. Boston within one.
Dave, 3 straight possessions where they run hard, get early offense or transition bucket. Exactly the pace you want.
16 for Tatum. First points of the third. Vincent left elbow. Tries to lean in. Got stripped by Horford. And Tatum able to save it on the baseline. Lobs it ahead to Brown in the front court. Driving into the lane. Got caught in the air. Fires back out to Tatum. Top of the key. Puts it on the floor. Gets to the rim and slams. Boston has the lead. Timeout Miami.
4 straight possessions where Boston just pushes the pace. Early offense, quick reading, doesn't allow Miami to dig in defensively, and just like that, they've got a 1-point lead.
And good, unselfish team basketball by Boston. Celtics lead 61-60. 7:17 to go in the third. You're listening to the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
The WNBA is back.
I got it in the bag with that brand new style.
This season's about super team expectations.
It's a really special opportunity. Things like this don't happen often.
Brittany Griner's emotional homecoming.
Griner throws it down!
And a shiny new rookie class.
The Indiana Fever select Aaliyah Boston.
The WNBA, we're all about it. Phoenix at LA, tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and ESPN+. Presented by Google.
Ooh, I got soul.
The Low Post Podcast with Zach Lowe.
As expected, Jaylen Brown made an All-NBA team, and he will now be eligible for the biggest possible contract he could be eligible for. They are immediately facing a decision. Are we putting all our eggs in this basket? Because I can tell you this, if they go to Jaylen Brown and get cute and be like, I know you're eligible for 35%, but can we do like a 30% and maybe it escalates to 31%? Like, that's not going to go over well.
Check out the Low Post Podcast on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts. Canty and Carlin.
John Morant has shown us who he is. I mean, it was March 4th that incident happened out in Denver.
This is who he is. We already have a problem with gun violence in this country. One of the biggest stars the sport has to offer is perpetuating that by flashing firearms for no good reason. He's not trying to defend himself. He's trying to show off on social media. I'm sorry, is a gun something that you should be using to show off on social media? What the hell are we talking about? This ain't about your Second Amendment right. Ain't nobody saying you can't have a gun. Nobody's saying that. What we are saying is, hey, maybe not have the gun on social media flashing it around like an idiot in a nightclub. Hey, maybe not be waving a gun around while your homeboy is driving a car down the street. It is your responsibility to take advantage of the resources that are in place. And clearly, John Morant failed to do that.
Canty and Carlin, weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and on SiriusXM Channel 80.
Jim Basketball in studio after Jamal Murray scored 23 of his 37 in the fourth last night. The Nuggets grab a 2-0 lead on the Lakers. Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals from Los Angeles. Nuggets, Lakers tomorrow night. Our coverage comes your way at 8 Eastern. You can see it on ABC at 8:30 Eastern. And again, following a Game 1 loss, the home team has won 16 straight playoff games, 6 straight points of the Celtics. Now they lead at 61-60 third quarter. Let's send it back to Coley Harvey.
Jim, an 11-6 Celtics run to open the half, and that really speaks to what Heat assistant coach Chris Quinn told the television broadcast at half. He basically said, this is a game of runs, and we have to be able to withstand Boston's runs. We know that the Celtics are capable of coming back, and that's exactly what we have seen at this stage of the third quarter. We'll see how this one finishes out, Dave.
And 5 points for Jaylen Brown here in the third quarter. 5 rebounds for Jason Tatum in the third quarter. Boston by 1.
Jason Tatum has become much more than just a dynamic scorer. He's rebounded it with authority all year long. His playmaking skills have elevated. As Joe Mazzulla likes to say all the time, he won't be defined only by his scoring.
7-minute mark, third quarter of game 2. Boston trying to even the series at 1 win apiece. Pass to Butler, high post right, takes the jump shot and drills it. Jimmy Butler out of the timeout gives Miami the lead back.
Simple pin down to get your best player a shot.
16 points for Butler on 7 of 15 shooting. Tatum right side, dribbles into the middle of the lane. Left-hand layup, no good, but a foul is called and Tatum will go to the line. Be just the 8th and 9th free throws of the game for Boston.
He has been excellent at getting downhill. His handle's been tight. Once he gets downhill, he typically has a big he's got to beat. And once again, the whistle a little bit faster than the other night, but nonetheless, a little bit after the foul call.
No question. Tatum's first free throw is up and good. 19 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists for Tatum. Game tied at 62. First team foul on Miami. 6:50 remaining here in the third quarter.
You wonder at what point Miami might institute a little bit of a zone. Remember, they ended the half with it. Boston went 1 for 5 with 2 turnovers. So will we see that much in the second half?
Second free throw good, 63-62. Celtics lead nearing the midway point of the third quarter. Right side of the front court, Vincent tried to drive baseline on Jaylen Brown. There's no room. Backs it out. Shot clock at 8. Butler, guarded by Horford. Right corner, puts it on the floor with the left hand. Gets to the left elbow. Keeps the dribble. Now kicks it out to Strus. 1 on the shot clock. Has to put it up from 3. It's an air ball. 24-second violation. Good defense by the Celtics.
That was about clean switches. Al Horford had to defend Jimmy Butler. Does a great job making him a passer. Forces a tough shot.
Boston ball leading by 1. Tatum across the timeline has the ball on the right side. On the switch, he's got Love. Now there are 3 Heat guys on him. He drives anyway and scores. Banking it in with the right hand from 8 feet away.
Again, downhill because of the tight handle.
3-point Celtics lead. 6:10 to go in the third quarter. 65-62. 10-2 Boston run. 3-pointer straight away. Vincent off the side of the rim. Rebound Horford. Into the front court is Derek White on the right side. Trying to back down his man, and now he'll pull it out. Tatum's got it left wing. Dribbles past Love, and a foul called as Love reached in. That'll be the third foul on Love. He goes right to the Miami bench. He was coming out anyway. Second team foul.
So Martin comes back in. Remember, Martin had one heck of a half. 14 points, a career high and a half for him in the playoffs. Can he provide a similar kind of lift here?
Jason Tatum has been owning the paint. Brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Ask Sherwin-Williams and save 35% on Emerald products and Superdeck stains now through May 22nd. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Boston inbounding near side to Jaylen Brown. Now working on the right baseline. Gets caught in the air and the ball is blocked by Butler. Out of bounds, going to stay with the Celtics. 7 to shoot. What a play, though, by Butler defensively.
Jaylen Brown is as good an athlete as there is in the league. And Jimmy Butler just able to stay in the air. You've talked about him doing that on the offensive end. Excellent left-handed block.
Tatum catches the inbound pass on the far side. Driving right baseline, pull-up jumper. He hits it from about 18 feet with 2 on the shot clock. Tatum is up to 24 points. Boston by 5. 67-62, 5.5 to play, third quarter. Van Adebayo with a touch on the right elbow when he's fouled by Horford as he tried to drive. First on Boston in the quarter, and the second on Horford.
Brogdon now checking in. Derek White will get a rest.
5:28 remaining, 14 in the shot clock. Miami ball. It's going to be inbounded near side right in front of the Celtic bench by Caleb Martin. He's on the floor with Vincent, Strus, Butler, and Bam. Tatum, Brown, Brogdon, Smart, Horford out there for Boston. Butler with Brogdon on him straight away, about 35 feet out with a shot clock at 5. Got a screen to his right, deep to dribble. Now drives right baseline, caught, but throws it to Martin left side. Drives with 1 to shoot. Layup is good. It hung on the rim and drops after hitting the window.
Great court awareness, boy. Just gets that off in time on the drive.
5-minute mark, 3-point lead for Boston. Tatum dribbling right side, knocked out of bounds on the far side by Strus. It's going to stay with Boston. 16 to shoot, 67-64 Celtics. 16 points for Martin, matching Butler for the team lead. 24 for Tatum, the top all scorers. Brogdon on the left side in the front court, 2 are left. Got a hand in his face. Here's a lob underneath, and the ball almost went in. It spun around the rim and then came out. Rebound Butler brings it into the front court, gets caught in the air, leaves it off for the trailer, and the slam by Bam, and a timeout Boston with Miami back within 1. Every time it looks like Boston might be starting to create some space. Miami with a great response, 67-66. Celtics lead, 4:46 to go, third quarter of Game 2. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app presented by Indeed.
Did you miss TJ and Max?
Good morning. But this is not work, man.
It's not work for who? My brain is constantly working, but I'm not going to allow you to minimize my ability to wake up in the morning, follow every single sport that you can think of.
Meaning basketball and football. Go ahead.
Formula One.
Yeah.
I got to follow the Formula One, right? You know, when tennis is rolling, I got to follow this. You know what I'm saying?
Sailing?
No, we don't talk about sailing.
Horse racing?
Well, Kentucky Derby, I had to follow it.
High jumping, pole vaulting?
No, I'm only going to follow that
Long
when the
jumping?
Olympics come. Bowling, I have to.
How about the World Cup?
Bowling.
How about the World Cup?
I did when it was around. It's not around right now, so I'm not following it.
How about the WNBA?
I do. You know, I follow Jay. Nice try. Don't you try me.
I didn't try you. I just asked.
Did you try me?
KJM keeps you informed. You can't miss a minute. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
How are you? My name is Scott Van Pelt, host of SC Pod, along with my partner in crime, Stanford Steve. What do we talk about mostly on the podcast, Steve?
Sports.
Some.
Parenting.
I feel like that comes up a lot. I feel like most recently I've needed some help because I feel like my shortcomings there are evident. It's life stuff, you know, relatable content.
It's fun.
It's just two bald-headed goons just talking about nonsense a lot in a crowded podcast space. There's that one.
We're here.
Here we are.
Small business owners, we know tackling your to-do list can sometimes feel like going 12 rounds against a heavyweight champ. Except that heavyweight's gloves are made of something hard, like diamonds. So when a new to-do pops up, you're like, I can't. I'm boxing my diamond boxing glove-wearing heavyweight champ of a to-do list. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy with over 30 customizable coverage options, so you can finally land a knockout blow. See if you can save on business insurance in as little as 6 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
Finally, baseball is back. Swing into the season with tickets to the action. Plus, with basketball and hockey heating up, now is a great time to experience a game. Vivid Seats is proud to be the official ticketing partner of ESPN. From on the glass to in the stands, Vivid Seats has great ticket prices to all the games. Every crack of the bat, every dribble down the court. Catch it all with Vivid Seats. Download the app or visit vividseats.com today. Vivid Seats. Experience it live.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore a seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Jim Basketball in the studio. We now pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. With a Heat within a point, consider the company Eric Spoelstra keeps. 7 trip to the conference finals. Only Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, and Greg Popovich have reached those heights. 1 point game, just under 5 to go, third quarter. Back to Darce and Dave.
All right, Jim. Jason Tatum, the leading scorer with 24 points. He's also the leading rebounder with 12. He has 4 assists. But his team is only up 1. It's 67-66, 4:46 to play in the third quarter. Kyle Lowry has checked into the game for Miami. Robert Williams is on the floor for Boston again.
So, again, sticking with the single big, Grant Williams, who had a solid first half, has yet to play here in the second. Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart still a combined 6 for 19. Jalen's got the ball coming up the floor.
Guarded by Martin as he brings it across the timeline. Now on the switch, he's got Lowry on far side. He drives on him, gets into the lane, got stripped, but got it back and puts it in from about 4 feet away.
Boy, good pinch down, though, by Caleb Martin, almost coming up with a turnover.
4:25 remaining third quarter, 3-point Boston lead. Lowry on the right wing's got Tatum on him. Right-hand dribble, gets into the paint, bounces to Adebayo, 10-footer is up, and it's good for Bam, his 14th point.
Kyle Lowry playing pick and roll, strings it out to the right-hand side, pocket pass right into the hands of Bam Adebayo. All he's got to do is float it in.
69-68, Boston, 4-minute mark, third quarter. Head of the key is Jaylen Brown, guarded by Adebayo, throws to the left side, Tatum, he's about 35 feet away. Dribbling behind the back, step back three against Butler, got it! Jason Tatum with his 27th point, Boston by 4. 3:45 to play in the third. Bam Adebayo, about 18 feet away, straight on, dribbles, gets into the lane, falling away, 10-footer is short, rebound Tatum, his 13th board. Tatum pushing into the front court right side, pulls up, got caught in the air, puts up a shot, almost banked it in, no good, but he was fouled. And it'll be 3 free throws for Jason Tatum.
Dave, this may take a 40-point effort from Jason Tatum with the way Jaylen Brown has shot the basketball tonight. And that step-back three on the prior possession, that is his patented move. He gets one-on-one. He crosses over a couple times, always steps back to his left. It's his sweet spot. And now coming up the floor in transition, able to draw some contact.
Got the first free throw. He has 28. Jaylen Brown at least has been better. He started 1 for 8. He's 5 for his last 9. That's helped things. A 5-point lead for the Celtics. 28 points for Tatum. Second free throw on the way and good. That's 29 points for Tatum. Zeller into the game for the Heat. Bam to the bench. 6-point lead for Boston with 3:32 to go in the third. Grant Williams into the game for Boston. And Jaylen Brown will go to the bench. Tatum looking for another 30-point game. He had 30 in game 1. Remember, no official field goal attempts, although 6 free throw attempts in the fourth quarter. Tatum missed the third free throw, and it's rebounded by Zeller of Miami. So 2 out of 3 for Tatum. 6-point lead for Boston. Miami ball front court to our right. Strus in between the rings. Got a screen to his left. Dribbles, kicks to Butler on the right side. Shot clock at 7. Butler driving into the lane. Goes up with the left hand. Missed the shot. Poked away from him out of bounds. Baseline right. Boston ball.
Malcolm Brogdon does a really good job just battling to stay in front and forcing Jimmy to shoot over the top. A tough 2. He can't get it home.
Tatum brings it into the front court on the left side. Guarded by Martin. Drives, lobs it underneath. Caught by Williams. And he missed the shot, but he was fouled by Kyle Lowry. Had a hold of him around the hip area.
Yeah, but you like to see Robert Williams finish that shot. I know Kyle Lowry's pushing him in the back. That's probably the next evolution. The catch, finish strong. You've got to grip it with 2 hands, go up and dunk it. Like, if you're Robert Williams, you've got to be thinking, I want 3 in this instance.
Lowry picks up the foul, his first, and the 14th foul. Williams at the line. He's 0 for 1. This one is on the way and good. 5th point for Robert Williams III. 5th year out of Texas A&M. He had 12 points in game 1, 4 offensive rebounds in the first half. Boston put up 66 points in the first half of game 1. The third quarter, remember they got outscored by 21 in game 1. They've won the third quarter so far here in game 2. Second free throw off the back rim and in. And the lead is up to 8 now for Boston. They trailed by 4 at halftime, so a 12-point swing. 3 minutes to go in the third. Butler calling off a screen. Dribbles left side. Stops at the elbow. Keeps the bounce. Now driving at Williams. Right of the lane. Baseline got caught in the air. Finds Zeller, but a turnover. That spacing between Butler and Zeller out of bounds to Boston.
Yeah, baseline. That spacing so tight that he just put his foot on the end line. Great defense from Boston.
Tatum into the forecourt on the left side. Right-hand dribble, gets to the elbow. Finds Smart, right corner. A 3 is up, and it's good from Smart. And the Celtics are back up double figures, a 12-2 run. They lead 79-68. 10 straight points for Boston. Crowd on its feet again. 2:25 left in the third. Martin on the left wing, drives, gets into the paint. Shot is blocked. Martin gets it back, though, finds Butler. Now to the corner, Martin for 3. Good. What a response by Martin, who has 19 points.
First big-time under duress bucket in this half by Caleb Martin.
Brogdon comes back and loses the ball off his right foot in the lane. Miami has it. Lowry ahead to Martin. Transition, gets to the rim, scores with the left hand. Again, Miami with the response. Back within 6, 79-73.
There's been moments where Boston has just had some baffling turnovers right there with Brogdon again.
1:45 to go in the third. 21 points for Martin off the bench. Lob to Williams underneath the basket. Turns it over, trying to hit Williams. Lowry ahead, lobs it down court. Butler catches. Feeds Lowry right wing. Struce to the left side, Martin. He's got the hot hand. Hands it off for Struce. Going to hold it out high, about 30 feet away on the left side. Down 6, 90 seconds left. Struce drives to the right corner. Martin, another shot. Missed that time from 3. Long rebound, Brogdon. On the run out, Brogdon has Butler to his left, and he lays it in with Butler on his hip.
Excellent job by Brogdon to go at Jimmy Butler and get his body in front so Jimmy couldn't block the shot.
81-73 Boston, a minute left in the third. Struce top of the key, throws to Lowry on the left wing. Shot clock at 10. Lowry's got Robert Williams on him. Throws to Butler right side. Drives, middle of the lane with the left hand and gets to the rim thanks to a nice screen by Zeller, and he scores.
I'll be honest with you. You could see Jimmy's hesitation to shoot the 3. He's been productive in the postseason, but his mindset is go to the cup.
Only taken 1 3 tonight, and he missed it. 40 seconds remaining in the third. Boston 81, Miami 75. Celtics ball front court to our left. Tatum near the midcourt line at the Celtic logo. Dribbles left side at the hash mark. Bounces to Williams, middle of the lane. Kicks it out. Tatum left side. Thought about the 3. Now puts it up. Can't knock it down, but a foul underneath on Miami as Brogdon got pushed. That's the 15th foul, so they're in the penalty. Free throws here for the Celtics.
So imperative in today's NBA that big, if he catches the ball in the middle of the floor, be able to have some patience and make the next play, whether it's a pitch to the corner, a drop pass to the baseline. Robert Williams able to now do that.
They get Struce for the foul. That is his second. And so Malcolm Brogdon, year in, year out, one of the best free throw shooters in the NBA, at the line for 2. He did miss a couple free throws in game 1. 28.5 seconds left here in the third quarter. 81-75 Celtics looking to even the series at 1 game apiece. First foul shot off the front rim, backboard and in for Brogdon.
So how about tonight with Jason Tatum's 29 points? He has now passed Kevin Durant for the second most points by a player aged 25 or younger in the NBA postseason. He is 25 years old and getting better every single year.
Consecutive first-team All-NBA for Tatum. The second free throw good for Brogdon. The lead is 8 for Boston. And again, about a 5-second difference in the game shot clocks here at the end of the third. Lowry into the Miami front court to our right with Brogdon on him 40 feet away. Shot clock at 10, game clock at 15. Lowry keeps the dribble, still holding near midcourt. Now moves to his right and shoots for 3. Front rim, rebound Brogdon, 7 seconds left. Tatum has it in the front court with 4. Tatum on the right side. Step back 3, double teamed. Missed the shot off the front rim. The tip won't go. It wouldn't have counted anyway. And that's the end of the third quarter. But quite the different story from game 1. Boston was down 4 at halftime. Will go to the fourth with an 8-point lead, 83-75, looking to even the series at 1. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
You can't miss a moment with Greeny.
59 years ago tomorrow, Nicholas Kim Coppola was born. You may know him as Nicolas Cage. Favorite Nick Cage movie?
Face Off is the one I was thinking of, the one with John Travolta. I couldn't remember the name
Face
of it.
Off is unbelievable.
I like that movie. Hembo, have you ever seen any movie with Nicolas Cage in it? If I showed you a picture of Nicolas Cage, would you know it was him?
He's on the screen right now.
Take Hembo's Face Off.
Greeny, weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app.
Jim Basketball in studio reminding you full reaction to the conference finals with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max weekday morning, 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern. That's followed by Greeny with Mike Greenberg until noon right here on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Stay tuned on ESPN Radio with continued coverage to the reaction of the death of football legend Jim Brown. Jason Tatum, 29 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists as the Celtics up 8 start of the fourth quarter. Back to Boston and Coley Harvey.
Jim, only once in the past 2 months have the Celtics lost back-to-back games, and it happened in the last round of losses to Philadelphia. When I asked Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla before tonight's game what it is about his players that allows them to typically respond to losses, well, he said in his blunt fashion, we just need to avoid getting in this position of needing to respond in the first place. We need more of a championship maturity. So he wants to see not only if his team can respond to that game one loss, but if it can hold a lead tonight.
Well, Coley, the third quarter was terrific. If you're a Celtic fan, they outscored Miami 33-21. So the Heat had 21 points, and Jason Tatum almost matched them. He had 15 on his own.
And 6 rebounds and an assist. And to your point a little bit earlier, Jaylen Brown came along for the ride in that corner. He was 3 for 6. He had 7. The bench pretty much played Caleb Martin even. 7 points for Caleb off the bench and 6 total for Boston. So you're right, exactly what you would have hoped, but there's a long 12 minutes to go. And if this is a possession ball game down the stretch, let's remind our listeners, 37 clutch time wins by Miami this year. Second all-time in NBA history in clutch wins in a regular season. The pressure would be significant late on Boston if this is within 5 and 5 minutes to play.
And it's Boston ball, bringing it up the floor right to left to start the fourth with Jaylen Brown crossing the timeline. He's out there with Robert Williams, Tatum, Brogdon, and Grant Williams. Tatum finds Robert Williams, middle of the lane, drives, throws up a shot that's good off the window and a foul. He got bumped, put it up right away, made it, and will go to the line.
So Miami came out of that break with their zone. And I keep preaching about that big man. When he makes a catch in the middle of the floor, being able to make the right play. Robert Williams had one guy to beat. He aggressively goes to the cup, exactly the right read. Boston now leads by 10.
Third foul on Bam Adebayo. Robert Williams' foul shot is good. The lead is 11 for the Celtics. Their largest lead tonight was 12 in the first half when they had that 19-2 run. Jimmy Butler on the bench to start the fourth for Miami. 30 seconds in, the Heat down 11. And a foul called away from the ball on Boston. It's going to be on Grant Williams. First on the Celtics. Second personal on Grant Williams. Martin will inbound far side to Vincent, who has been quiet tonight. 1 for 5 from the floor, 5 points. Bam, high post left, bounces underneath, great pass to Martin, right at the rim, puts it home for his 23rd point.
And Jaylen Brown and Grant Williams having a conversation about whose backdoor cut that was.
Tatum left side bounces to the left corner for Brogdon, drives. It's cut off, finds Brown in the lane. Circus shot, no good. A blocking foul, though, as there was contact in the restricted area. And it's going to be on Bam, and that's 4 fouls on Adebayo.
Joe Mazzulla now getting into the action about that backdoor cut by Caleb Martin. These are the little plays that sneak in. Grant Williams taps his chest, says, Coach, I got it. That's my bad. He goes over to Jaylen Brown and says the same thing. Little windows of cohesion, communication, so important.
Brown gets the first free throw. Now, Joe Mazzulla, this is his first time around. He's the youngest coach in a conference final since Bill Russell back in 1968. Eric Spoelstra was here once, and obviously now 15 years into it, 7th conference finals for Spoelstra. Brown's second free throw on the way. Front rim, no. Rebound, Bam. 87-77. Boston leads a minute into the fourth quarter of Game 2. Miami leads the series 1-0. Game 3 Sunday in Miami. Right wing, it's Vincent, guarded by Tatum on the switch. Vincent trying to drive, can't. Now puts it on the deck, goes through the lane, stops there, leans in, wild shot, no good. Williams dives on the floor, loose ball, and Miami has it. Vincent, and gets tied up.
Love it.
Jump ball between Vincent and Grant Williams.
Absolutely love it. Gabe Vincent flew to the floor, and in response, Grant Williams did exactly the same. Desperation, get on the floor. How badly do you want it?
Grant Williams getting the call here in Game 2. Played a valuable 17 minutes, only taking one shot, but he has so many of the little things to help you win. He'll jump it up, foul line to our right with Vincent. 10:48 to go here in the fourth quarter. And Williams wins the tip. Jason Tatum has the ball. Boston by 10. Tatum brings it across the line on the left side. Keeps the right-hand dribble at the top of the key. Fires underneath. A dunk. It's Robert Williams with a slam from Grant Williams, and Boston leads by 12.
Great read by Grant Williams, though. It was a small man in the paint, Duncan Robinson. The fire of the pass by Grant is on time and on target.
Martin, right wing, drives middle of the lane. Goes up with the left hand, banks it in. That is 25 points for Martin.
Just he has attacked relentlessly into the paint. Very similar moves to Jimmy Butler.
Butler's still on the bench, by the way. 2 minutes into the fourth. 10-point lead for the Celtics. 89-79. Tatum out high, about 35 feet away on the near side. Fires to the corner, out of bounds. Unable to make the catch was Grant Williams. Tatum spun around in disgust. Turnover, Boston. Lowry to the front court, leaving it for Bam, who's at the top of the key. Dribble handoff, Robinson, catch and shoot from straight away. The three goes for Robinson.
It's a simple play. You see a lot of teams do it. Jamal Murray had a ton of these last night with Nikola Jokic. Big pins in, shooter sprints off.
And it's 89-82, Boston. 2.5 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Tatum on the right wing, bounce pass to Brown. High post right, falling White puts up a shot and scores. After a 1-for-8 start, Jaylen Brown has come around.
He's just settled into the game, not pressing as hard.
Robinson in between the circles for Miami. Front court to our right, 91-82 Celtics. Bam facing up, left side, 12 feet away. Drives, pump fake, goes up strong, and banks it in with the right hand against Robert Williams. 9-minute mark, 91-84 Celtics. Fourth quarter here in Game 2. Tatum on the right wing, about 30 feet away. Going to put it up from there, and it's not close. Batted around. Robinson has it for the Heat. Miami ball. Martin on the right side. Leaves for Lowry. And some contact underneath as Bam Adebayo and Tatum get tangled up. And they're going to call the foul on Tatum. That's 3 on him and 2 on the Celtics here in the quarter.
It's a good call. Jason Tatum tried to front Bam, and in fronting him, he did pull him down.
Yep. Right call. As White checks in, Tatum going to go to the bench. So let's see what happens here in the first half when Tatum went to the bench. The Celtics offense really struggled.
This is where the efficiency of Jaylen Brown after that terrible start will play a part in their ability to sustain this lead.
Bam has the ball at the top of the circle. Gets it back to Robinson, who's on the far side, 35 feet away. Moves to his right, shoots for 3 off the dribble, hits again. Duncan Robinson, who grew up in New England, coming back home with back-to-back threes in the fourth, and Miami down 4. 8.5 remaining here in the fourth. Williams, right side, drives into the lane, goes up from 4 feet, and puts it home against Adebayo.
Catch and finish. Catch and finish.
Lowry racing into the forecourt, goes all the way into the paint, gets deep, finds Adebayo, who hangs in the air, missed the shot underneath, batted around, rebound Williams of the Celtics. 93-87 Boston. Jaylen Brown in the front court spin, moves to his left, hangs in the air, missed the shot, rebound Bam, his 11th. Lowry across the line, Martin on the left side. The Heat down 6. Lowry puts up a 3 straight away. That shot no good. Rebound Martin, though. He'll bring it back out. Robinson in the corner to Martin on the right side. Shot clock at 8. Lowry, 5 to shoot. Drives past White into the paint. Pump fake. Goes up. Can't bank it in. Traveling. Turnover. Kyle Lowry before the shot.
That's an excellent call. been a couple of occasions where Caleb Martin has thought about being aggressive to score and wisely made the next pass. He's going to take a seat. Jimmy Butler back on the floor for the Miami Heat.
And Joe Mazzulla calls a timeout. 7:41 to play in the fourth quarter. Boston trying to even the series, leading 93-87. You're listening to the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
Jason Fitz and Harry Douglas are Fitz and Harry.
If Daryl Morey is letting pride be the reason in what he thinks the system should be, letting that be the reason for somebody that was the MVP and a top 3 MVP vote getter for the last 3 seasons with Doc as the head coach. You already got rid of Doc. If it costs you Embiid, then this might be the dumbest front office organization move we have seen in recent NBA memory.
Fitz and Harry, weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman.
Are the Warriors about to run it back?
I think Dre, Clay, and Steph will all be back. They can still make a run. They just won a championship a year ago. We act like these are a bunch of old 40-year-old dudes that can't play anymore, and we've seen the end of them.
Key, Jay, and Max. Mornings on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. The biggest names in sports are on ESPN Radio.
Tyrese Maxey now joining us courtside. It was a big-time win, man. We let the game kind of slip away from us, but to be resilient like that and everybody made plays down the stretch, that was big time.
Stephen Curry with us here on ESPN Radio. Honestly, it's hard for a lot of guys on our team because they're capable of contributing, but sometimes the opportunity isn't always there. But the message is stay ready.
Josh Hart is joining us. 6 years I've been waiting to get into the playoffs, man. So I'm not taking it for granted. I'm playing as long as I can, every second I can, and I'm just taking it all in.
Visiting with D'Angelo Russell, I'm a product of my environment. Honestly, I got to brush shoulders with some of the greats and just learned a lot of things from being in their system and their organization.
Klay Thompson joining us.
I can hear how tired you are, brother.
Oh, PJ, I feel great. We got another quarter in.
Great.
I don't know about that.
The biggest names in sports come here, and it all starts weekday mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, and continues all day. This is ESPN Radio.
Jim Basketball in studio, reminding you our coverage of Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals comes your way tomorrow night at 8 Eastern. Nuggets and Lakers. Jamal Murray was special in Game 2. Has Denver up at 2-0. You can see it on ABC at 8:30 Eastern, but consider Nikola Jokic comes off a 7th triple-double of this postseason and 4th straight, tying Wilt Chamberlain's playoff record. Denver unbeaten at home, so they held serve, but the Lakers are also unbeaten at home in this postseason. The Celtics, meantime, have 4 in double figures, up 6, just under 8 to go, fourth quarter. Back to Darce and Dave.
This place has come alive. They know what's at stake. Awfully difficult if you go down 0-2 to have to play games 3 and 4 on the road and have a chance to win the series. But Boston right now leading by 6 with 7:41 left.
So the Miami bench, you've gotten very little from your 2 starters, 8 and 6 points from Strus and Vincent, but 40-26 advantage from the bench. Caleb Martin with 25, Duncan Robinson with 13. Those 2 guys are combined 6 for 12 from 3, Dave.
And Tatum still on the bench for Boston. Jimmy Butler back on the floor. Jaylen Brown with the ball in the front court to our left. He's on the left wing. Dribble drive into the paint, stops, kick out, Brogdon up top, shot clock at 7. Brogdon drives, floater up short, and rebound Lowry. Lowry again pushing tempo into the front court. Vincent right wing, nobody picks him up. He finds Lowry, open 3, left side, around it, out, and a loose ball foul on Boston. Bam Adebayo with 2 Celtics trying to block him out, and Jaylen Brown committed the foul. That's the second team foul, or make that the third team foul, second personal on Brown.
Jaylen Brown and Malcolm Brogdon were the 2 Celtics trying to contend, but Bam is a relentless mover around the rim.
Adebayo catches the inbound pass at the top of the circle. Handoff Robinson, dribbles right side, hoists a 3. Not that time. And Horford, and a foul called here as Horford collides with Lowry. They're going to call a foul away from where the ball errand as Jimmy Butler got held up by Grant Williams, who thought Butler was flailing. That's 14 fouls on Boston.
Wow.
It's on Brogdon, they say. He was trying to block out Lowry, actually. Shot clock at 8. Bam's got it. Right elbow, handoff. Robinson on the right wing. 93-87 Boston. Robinson driving right baseline. Hits Butler. Shot clock at 2. Butler's got to put it up. Does from 15 feet and misses the shot. Rebound Brogdon. Into the front court at the top of the key. Brogdon with 6:40 remaining in the ball game. Boston by 6. Brown left baseline, double there. Out to Williams. He'll try a 3 on the left side. And there's Grant Williams with a big shot, pushing the lead to 9. Boy, he's been great off the bench.
10-3 for Boston. They're 10 for 29.
Miami ball, left side. Jimmy Butler driving into the lane. Pump fake, goes up from 6 feet and makes the shot, plus a foul that goes head-to-head with Williams. Grant Williams and Butler jawing. They were nose-to-nose. There was no headbutting, but boy, they were face-to-face. Double technicals have been called against Grant Williams and Jimmy Butler, but there was a personal foul on the Butler basket, so a chance at a three-point play.
I mean, I love that Grant Williams is willing to bring a little bit of an edge. We know he's a talker. He made the 3, and after he made the 3, he got in Butler's face. Butler smiling, and then Butler returns the favor, and they go head-to-head, start chatting. This is too good.
Head-to-head, nose-to-nose for a good 10 to 12 seconds before Tyler Ford, the official, came in to break things up.
Embrace the competition, as Eric Spoelstra likes to say. I'm here for every bit of it.
96-89. Butler with Miami's first foul shot of the second half. 6:22 to go in the game. Free throw is on the way and good. And Butler up to 21 points. 6-point deficit for the Heat, nearing 6 minutes to go here in game 2. Tatum into the front court on the near side. Uses a screen. Fires to Jaylen Brown. Got it back to Tatum, left wing. Sidestep three-pointer is off the mark. Rebound, Bam, stripped away by Tatum, but he stepped on the baseline. And it's Miami ball.
I feel like Boston's been a little bit more efficient against the zone. That's been sprinkled in here in the second half by Miami. That was a possession, just a missed shot by Tatum.
Miami ball, 6:06 remaining, 96-90. Celtics leading. Butler's going to bring it across the timeline. And Grant Williams will meet him there. Butler at the Celtic logo. Bounce pass to Adebayo. High post left. Fires to Butler on the right wing. Staring at Grant Williams. Trying to drive on him on the baseline. Can't get the angle. Shot clock at 5. Butler now drives again. Middle of the lane. Rises and scores over Williams from 6 feet. And Miami back within 4.
Now the ability for Jimmy Butler to get wherever he wants to go on the floor. Grant cut off the right hand. It was the right choice. But once he cut off the right, it opened just a small window for him to go left.
5.5 remaining. 96-92, Boston. Horford up top, about 30 feet out, throws to the right wing. Gets it back, looking to swing it, can't. Now right corner, it's Brogdon. He'll drive into the lane. Swing to Williams on the left side. He'll put on the floor, gets into the paint, goes up with the left hand and scores off the window.
You have to stay aggressive against the zone. And if you see a gap, you drive the gap. That's what Grant Williams did.
98-92, Boston 5 to play. Bam Adebayo holding the ball at the three-point line, left side. Now puts it on the floor. Drives into the lane. Tries to bank it in, can't, but he was fouled. He'll go to the line. Celtics are over the limit. Jaylen Brown picking up the foul. That's his third.
So Bam, as we now are inside of 5 minutes, 4:57 to play. If he makes both free throws, we are officially in clutch time. Game within 5 with 5 minutes to play. This is where Miami has excelled.
First free throws up and good, and Miami has won more games this year when trailing going into the fourth quarter than any team in the NBA. They're still trailing, but you sense maybe momentum has shifted back in their favor. They're down 5 with 4:57 to go.
And Eric Spoelstra talks about all of those close games steeled this team. It's helped them get a toughness that perhaps otherwise they might not have had.
Bam knocks down both free throws. He's got 18 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, 4-point game, 4:50 on the clock in the fourth. Boston 98, Miami 94. Smart, right side. They swing it around on the perimeter to the left wing, and Brown traveled, trying to put it on the floor. Eric Spoelstra called it out. James Williams, the official, saw it at the same time, and it's a Boston turnover.
Again, another careless one in my mind, Dave. Not enough pressure there for him to pick up that pivot. On replay, did it look like he traveled?
Unless they said that he was carrying it, and that's why they called it a travel. Meanwhile, Duncan Robinson with a layup off a great pass from Bam Adebayo. High-low. That's the 9th assist for Bam, and it's a 2-point game with 4.5 to play. 98-96, Boston leads. Tatum, who has not scored in the fourth. Remember, he had 15 in the third. Didn't get a shot in the fourth quarter of game one. Right corner of three. No good from Grant Williams. Offensive rebound. Brown. Low left goes up. Gets it swatted away. Martin and Adebayo in Miami ball. 4-minute mark. They're down 2. Butler throws up a 3 right side. He's short. And a foul is called. Marcus Smart got knocked to the ground, and it's an offensive foul on Butler, and Smart is still down holding his left leg.
Felt like he kicked out his legs, and maybe that was the call. And it should be noted, as you see Eric Spoelstra out at half court, he's absolutely incensed. He believes Butler was hit on the arm on the attempt.
Jack Zarba has to back off Eric Spoelstra. Now, he could challenge if they still have their challenge. He is pointing to his eyes as if to tell the officials, what are you looking at?
So I'd love to see the replay, because it felt like if there was contact, it happened after the ball was released.
Ruling on the floor is an offensive foul on Butler, and Miami's taking a timeout to challenge the ruling
Eric
on the floor.
Spoelstra is going to challenge it, going to use the challenge here. This is big because if it's overturned, it's 3 free throws for Butler. Unless they just say there was no defensive foul. They could say that there's no offensive foul on Butler and no defensive foul. Butler went up for the shot. What? I don't think there was an offensive foul.
I don't think there was an offensive foul.
All right, they're looking at it. We'll step away. 4:06 to go in the game. 98-96 Boston. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app presented by Indeed.
Greeny.
He is a player who is prone to injury as the season goes on. He's going to wind up being one of the greatest players ever never to win a championship.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
He's 6'10". He's wet from three. Murray might be their second most important player. You're not going to convince me that Michael Porter is not their second best player.
The right time with Bomani Jones.
You can listen or follow on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
The NBA playoffs continue on ESPN Radio.
Around and down! A dagger 3 by Butler.
The Heat storm into Boston and still game 1. Now the Celtics face a critical game 2. Will they respond? Or are the Heat taking a 2-0 lead to Miami? Game 2 of the Celtics and Heat, presented by Indeed. Coverage begins tonight at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You can also listen on the ESPN app and on SiriusXM Channel 80.
Hey, y'all, this is Marty Smith.
And I'm Ryan McGee. And we are
Marty and McGee. Check us out every Saturday morning on ESPN Radio and the SEC Network.
Of course, we'll be all over the biggest news in the world of sports.
And plenty of that Marty and McGee type stuff.
Like the Hillbilly Headlines.
And some of the craziest callers you've ever heard in your life.
It might be the only reason to wake up that early on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, for sure. It's Marty and McGee.
From 7 to 10 Eastern.
On ESPN Radio and the SEC Network.
The United States Deputy Sheriff's Association is a national nonprofit and the largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. The USDSA assists city, county, state, and federal agencies with free safety equipment donations and officer survival training, along with cash donations to families of law enforcement officers who perish in the line of duty, college scholarships for the children of law enforcement, a citizen awareness program, and more. For more information on the USDSA and how you can help, visit usdeputy.org.
Jim Basketball in the studio. Jimmy Butler has 23 tonight, 369 points through the first 12 games of the postseason for Miami, most ever for a Heat player through the first dozen playoff games. Will he have a chance to add more at the free throw line? Let's go back to Boston with the answer from Doris and Dave.
Well, they're still talking about it, Jim. Zach Zarba, the crew chief, is still on with the replay center. Will they change the call and say defensive foul, 3 free throws? Here's Zach.
After review, because the ball was released by Butler, the contact by Smart was marginal, and the right leg of Butler making an abnormal kicking motion has been penalized with an offensive foul. The unsuccessful challenge, and Miami loses their timeout.
Wow. There was contact to the shooting arm. I guess they felt that was marginal.
I would say I disagree with that. To me, that was affecting his shot ability. So on the follow-through in particular, as soon as he hits his arm, the trajectory of that ball changed. So I would disagree wholeheartedly.
And any contact, even on a guy as strong as Butler, might throw him off a little bit. So now he's falling down, kicks his leg out a little bit. Anyway, 4 minutes to go. 98-96. Boston leads. Tatum drives into the lane. Fires underneath. A dunk for Williams. What a pass by Tatum. And Grant Williams again with a big bucket.
That gives you a 4-point edge. Last Tatum bucket, 3:54 the third, but the playmaking right there gets his team a bucket.
3.5 to go. 100-96. Boston. Bam Adebayo driving at Horford, middle of the paint, about 10 feet away. Goes up, gets fouled, missed the shot, but it'll go to the line. Bam is 6 of 6 at the line. Horford's third personal foul. And the clock stopped with 3:33 to go and a chance for Miami to get back within 2. So unsuccessful challenge by Eric Spoelstra. Boston still has its challenge. 3 timeouts remaining for each team.
Max Strus is getting set to check into the ball game. Duncan Robinson will take a seat.
Meanwhile, Jimmy Butler having some fun with the Celtic fans as the first free throw is good. Jimmy was on the far side of the floor talking to the Celtic fans saying, I got hit on the arm. And good-natured conversation. Timeout, Boston. 100-97. Celtics lead with 9:33 to go. Now Butler and Kyle Lowry are working James Williams.
What they're saying, and I think they have a point here, is every time somebody off the ball with the Heat, Boston has picked up its defensive intensity. One of the things they're doing to prevent catches from their shooters, they are going body to body and they're putting arms out and really impeding movement. Now, whether it has any impact, I don't know. There's physicality on both sides. One thing I'm curious about here with 3:33 remaining, the number of total shots in the fourth quarter for Jason Tatum. 0 in game 1. He has 2 here. Now, he did make the right read, and the game may come down to him continuing to make the right read. So it'll be a topic of conversation tomorrow no matter what. But as long as they come out the victor here, it shouldn't matter. It should be about making the right play.
He's had the assist on the Grant Williams dunk. He started the fourth quarter on the bench, but he's been out there for the last 7 minutes.
Exactly.
And in game 1, at least he got to the line in the fourth. He had 6 free throw attempts in game 1 in the fourth quarter, none here in the fourth quarter of game 2. And it's a 3-point lead for Boston, though. One more free throw coming up for Bam Adebayo. Celtics led by as many as 12. They had 33 points in the third, just 17 here in the fourth. Miami has 22. An 8-point lead for Boston after 3. Bam ready for a second free throw. 19 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. Foul shot up and good. 2-point game, 100-98 Boston. 3.5 to play. Marcus Smart will bring it across. Out there with Grant Williams, Tatum, Brown, and Horford.
I think they might be in a box and 1 here. No, just in a normal zone.
Tatum's got it near midcourt on the left side. They hedge on him on the near side. He's triple team. Finds Williams at the foul line. Shot clock at 5. Williams drives. Spins. Up and under move. No good. And it's rebounded by Bam of Miami with 3 to play.
They're shrinking the floor and bodies in front of Jason Tatum.
Butler in the front court on the right wing. 100-98 Celtics. Butler at the right elbow. Shot is good. Jimmy Butler with 25 points. Ties the game at 100. 2:50 on the clock in the fourth. Marcus Smart just fumbled the ball. He was at the top of the key and he just turned it over, just mishandled it. Butler's got it in the front court. Miami looking to retake the lead. 2:40 to play. Butler with the ball at the top of the key, working on Williams. Crossover dribble to his right hand. Drives right baseline. Falling away. Again, Butler nails it. 102-100 Miami.
Jimmy Butler getting to his spots. Boston, that was turnover number 14. They've given up 18 off of it.
Jaylen Brown drives, got caught in the air. Kick out Smart, hesitates, now fires. Missed the 3, rebound Horford in the putback. So they're going to wave it off and say a foul on Horford for shoving Strus to the ground. And again, you have to wonder, where's Jason Tatum? No touches again the last 2 possessions.
And again, I keep hammering this home. 37 wins in this kind of environment. The more gnarly it is, the better Jimmy Butler likes it. He goes back-to-back buckets. The pressure increasing on Boston. You can't go down 0-2. Max Strus with some free throws to build on a 2-point lead.
Because of the Horford foul, and they're over the limit. 2:19 to go. Heat by 2. Strus first free throw is up. No good off the back iron. 102-100 still. Grant Williams to the bench for Boston. Brogdon on the floor. One more free throw coming for Strus. Miami down by 8 at the end of 3, but the Heat just keep coming. Try to take a 2-0 series lead. Free throw is good. It's 103-100. Miami leads. Tatum with the ball in the backcourt. 0 for 2 from the floor for Tatum here in the fourth. He's got the ball across the line. Throws to Jaylen Brown. A 3 from the right side. Brown can't make it. It's in and out. Rebound. Bam. Miami ball. One and done for the Celtics. 2 minutes to go. Miami up by 3. Butler's got the ball on the right side in front of the Celtic bench with Brogdon watching him. Shot clock at 10. Butler trying to take it between the leg dribble. Driving right baseline. Pull-up jumper. Butler, no. Rebound, Jaylen Brown. Boston looking to push. Tatum calling for it. Brown doesn't give it to him. Instead, he drives right side. His pass broken up. It's loose, but into the hands of Horford. Top of the key. Now to Tatum, right side. Splits the double. Drives into the paint. Contact. Whistle. Offensive foul on Tatum. Great defense by Miami. 4th foul on Tatum. The Celtics look out of sorts offensively.
Who else but Jimmy Butler steps in on the rotation? Jason Tatum trying to make a play. Had to split the 2 defenders out front. Goes right off the bounce into the help defense.
1:38 remaining in the game. Miami ball leading 103-100 over the Celtics. Boston just 17 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, this is where Jimmy Butler's presence, you just feel like he's going to make enough plays. Your confidence is high.
He's off the ball right now. Bam just dribbling near midcourt. Now Butler comes and gets it with Tatum on him and the shot clock at 10. Butler on the far side. Brogdon switches over. Butler driving left baseline. Stops. Goes up. Stripped by Brogdon. Into the hands of Martin. Sling it. Vincent right wing a 3. No good. Bam with the offensive rebound. Vincent got it back. Now Strus left side. The shot clock reset. And there's a clock issue. The shot clock reset to 24. It's supposed to reset to 14. So the officials caught it. They got to figure out now what the game clock is at. It says 107. It's
just
103-100 Miami.
Tyler just said get it to 10. So the 2 seconds, because it went to 24, that's basically a guesstimation. And here we go.
Inbounding far side is Max Strus. Trying to get it in. Lobs to Bam Adebayo. Catches at the midcourt line. Shot clock at 7. Butler on the right wing. Timer at 5. Butler left-hand dribble. Moves to his right. Shot clock at 3. Baseline right. Leaning in. Butler following again. Missed that time. Bam got the rebound and the slam. Bam Adebayo having an incredible game. That's his 16th rebound. Miami by 5. 50 seconds left. Tatum right side. He's double. Puts up a 3. He's fouled. He's fouled on the 3. It was an air ball. He'll go to the line for 3. Miami thinks it's an offensive foul, but they can't challenge it because they already used it.
It's just the ability of Bam Adebayo to beat you to the spot, his speed. Because you've used your challenge, you can't challenge this. We get to see it on the replay, and Tatum does kick his legs out in sort of an awkward, one far right, one far left motion, but nonetheless, some free throws here.
Second time he's been fouled on a 3. He makes this one his first point of the fourth quarter. He's up to 30, but they are down 4, 105-101 with 49 seconds left.
I'll tell you, the zone for Miami, they're opportunistic when they sprinkle it in, but it has a real effect on Boston's ability to play with pace. The floor is shrunk. They shade heavily to Tatum. They close the gaps. It has been effective.
Tatum got the second one. 105-102. One more free throw for Tatum. 31 points. His first free throws of the fourth quarter. First points as well of the fourth. And the third one is good as well. 105-103. That was big. 49.3 seconds left. The crowd raises up here as one. Miami ball on the left side mark. Finds Vincent in between the rings. Shot clock at 12. Vincent driving left side. A long 2 is good for Vincent. What a shot by Gabe Vincent. 107-103 Miami. 35 seconds left. Timeout Boston.
Yeah, that's the gunslinger mentality. The young man is fearless. He has not had a super productive game, just 7 points on 2 for 8 shooting. But you know that Boston is going to try to prohibit Jimmy Butler from even catching the basketball. Take guts. It takes guts to take that shot. You still had time on the clock, but Gabe Vincent, that mentality of score, score, score.
I mean, you look at Butler's got 27. Adebayo 22, Martin off the bench with 25, Robinson 15. It seems like every Miami player in these games has their moment. That was Gabe Vincent's moment right there. He was 1 for 7 prior to that shot.
This roster littered with undrafted players who do nothing but produce. You can look at Duncan Robinson, as you said, at 15 points, 3 for 6. Caleb Martin, 3 threes and 25 points. Gabe Vincent, a huge shot. Max Strus with a couple of threes.
Tonight's attendance, 19,156. Brought to you by Vivid Seats, where you earn rewards with every purchase. Vivid Seat Rewards is your ticket to more tickets. Vivid Seats, life happens live.
Got to be very efficient with the score. You can go for a 2 here quickly. But if you get a clean 3 early, you take it.
107-103 Miami. 35 seconds remaining. Boston, because of the timeout, and still has 1 left, can advance the ball here. Brogdon will inbound near side in front of the Miami bench. Guarded by Gabe Vincent. Got to get it in. Now finds Tatum at the top of the key. Moves to his right, ball hit Butler's foot. It goes out of bounds near side. So it will stay with the Celtics with 20 to shoot and 31 seconds on the game clock.
Butler, again, absorbing the assignment of Tatum here.
Ball inbounded to Tatum at the midcourt line. Drives right and lost the ball. It's on the floor. Picked up by Smart at midcourt. Plenty of time. Smart finds Tatum underneath. Hangs in the air. Missed the shot, but a foul on Adebayo. And Tatum will go to the line to try to cut the deficit to 2 with 21.6 seconds remaining. Bam's 5th personal foul.
Miami's got a timeout here. A couple of times here in that possession. Looked like Jason Tatum could have lost the ball by dribbling it off his feet, trying to beat people in tight windows.
We've seen that a lot. And then we just saw careless where Marcus Smart just fumbled the ball, careless with it, turned it over. Boston's been doing that a lot here in the 4th. First free throw, good for Tatum. 107-104, Miami.
Here, Boston obviously off this make. And I would use one of my 2 to advance it if I'm a Miami. If they don't, you're going to jump up, cheat a pass, try to get a double team quickly.
Second free throw is good, and Spo will use the timeout. Obviously, that's wise. You don't want to inbound under your own basket. You advance it. 21.6 seconds left, 107-105, Miami.
Now, Kevin Love is not on the floor, but he's one of your best passers, and he has some size. I don't think you come back with him because you might need to make a defensive stop. Who inbounds the basketball is interesting to me because ideally, right, you're going to get the basketball to Jimmy Butler if you can, but he also is one of your better decision makers. So I'm curious to see which way they go here.
And to your point on Love, do you put a passer or free throw shooters out there knowing that you may be in a situation where you have to play defense?
And a bigger target, right? Somebody who you could see over the top of the defense. But this is where Spoelstra, and you've made this point, like the contrast in 15 years versus a guy in his first year. But think back to Eric Spoelstra, who the first year with LeBron James, people were calling for his head when he was 9 and 8. Yeah. Great patience by the organization, and look where they end up. 2 titles and just continuing always to be in the mix.
And Miami is 14 of 15 as a team at the free throw line. They will advance the ball here. They lead by 2, trying to go up 2-0 in the series.
So it's Martin, Caleb Martin, Vincent Strus, Butler. And Bam is in the backcourt trying to hide.
Yeah, he's in the deep left corner, about 60 feet away from where the ball is being inbounded. Tatum will guard the inbound pass. Strus near side in front of the Celtic bench. Gets it into Vincent. Right side double team. Drives baseline. And he's fouled with about 2 seconds coming off the clock.
I love the way that play developed. You pulled basically all but 2 guys away from the action. And you let Gabe Vincent play one-on-one to get the basketball. Just good play design.
That was on Brogdon. Free throws for Gabe Vincent. He just hit a big shot. A possession to go. Can he make 2 free throws? He's 2 for 2 tonight. Only 1 miss for the Heat, and that was Strus. 2-point game. Vincent's first free throw on the way. Good. 108-105 Miami. One more free throw coming up for Vincent. One timeout left for each team. Boy, did Strus move out of his position before he inbounded the ball? It looked like it on the replay. You're not supposed to be able to move on that inbound pass on the sideline. Free throw is good. It's 109-105 with 19.3 seconds left. Miami leading inbound to Smart. Brings it across the timeline. Smart fires to Tatum, left side. Long three is on the way. Tatum can't make it. Ball batted around. Strus has it for the Heat. Ahead to Vincent, but a foul call with 8.4 left. And Miami a chance maybe to ice it with a couple of free throws. They already lead by 4. It's a 2-possession game with just 8 seconds left. And the Celtics fans start to hit the exits.
Clean look from 3 for Tatum. Just front rims it. Great pursuit of the basketball. Multiple red jerseys there. Bench reacting. And who would have thunk the Miami Heat could walk into the TD Garden and take 2 from the number 2 seed. They were hanging by a thread in the second play-in game and have found their way to this position. Absolutely incredible.
Strus hits the first free throw. And you have to wonder, with Boston for a while looking like it was going to get the win, almost pulling away a couple times, had a much better third quarter. As Strus gets the next free throw, you have to wonder about the psyche of the Celtics now going to Miami down 0-2. They've been better on the road than at home, but where are they mentally? Inbound to Jaylen Brown across the timeline. 4 seconds to go. Brown puts up a 3 right wing. No good. That's the end of the game. The Miami Heat take a 2-0 lead, winning both games in Boston. It's the first time in franchise history they've won games 1 and 2 of a series on the road.
Jimmy Butler had 12 points at the half. He goes for 15 in the second, 8 boards, 6 assists, couple of blocks, and 3 steals. So he continues to fill the box score. And we kept hammering the point home. That is now 38 wins in clutch time. All you had to do if you were Miami was make this a possession ball game. The pressure, I thought in the final 5 minutes, you could see it wearing on the Celtics. Some of the impatience, the turnovers, the shot selection. And Miami, the physically and mentally toughest team in the league, is up 2-0 with 2 wins on the road. Wow.
They outscore Boston 36-22 in the fourth quarter. They win it 111-105. Let's check in with Coley.
Caleb, you went undrafted. You're in your second playoffs. You're playing arguably the best ball of your career right now. How were you able to have such an impact on this game?
I just come in, I'm just confident right now. You see the level of talent on my team, regardless if they drafted or not. A guy like Jimmy is playing like one of the best players in the league right now, obviously. And, man, he just instills a lot of confidence, man, and we've got great chemistry on this team.
It seemed like Jimmy was really coming through down the stretch for you guys. What kind of lift does it give the rest of you all when you see him perform the way he did in winning time?
Man, it's easy, man. As you can see down the stretch, he draws so much attention. Guys like us, man, we wide open. So we just want to make sure we come in and do our job and knock down open shots.
It felt to the rest of us like this was a pretty intense game, a little scrappier than the other night. How did it feel to you all, and what led to some of that?
I mean, we expected that. I mean, they're a great team, man, and physical team, and they knew, coming off us winning the first game in their home place, they're gonna come out like that. So we expected that, but that's just right up our alley. So
you guys up 2-0 now in the series, going home to Miami. How do you avoid being overconfident and trying to finish the job here?
The job not done. I mean, we got 2 more to go, and they're gonna come back playing even harder, especially on the home court. We got 2 on their court. They're gonna try to come back and do the same. So we just gotta be ready.
All right, Caleb, thanks very much. Back to you guys.
All right, Coley. And I'm not a great lip reader, but it looked like Jimmy Butler was saying, I know better, as he keeps walking off the floor. I don't know if he's upset with himself maybe for getting into it with Grant Williams, but didn't seem to matter. It just fired up Butler and his team even more. And again, what a performance by the Heat. They were the number 8 seed. They finished 7th in the East. They lost to Atlanta at home in the play-in tournament. Yeah. So they had to win their second game at home against Chicago. And as you said, they're hanging by a thread in that game. They win that game. Then they beat the Bucks in 5, the first 8 seed ever to win a first-round series in fewer than 6 games. And then they knock off the Knicks. And here they are up 2-0 on Boston.
Just an incredible performance team-wide. The shot by Vincent late. He was 1 for 3 in the fourth quarter, but it was a monster possession, 35 ticks on the clock. There was no way Boston was going to allow Jimmy Butler to make a catch and score. Jimmy did enough, 15 points in the second half. But you can't say enough about Duncan Robinson's huge 20-plus minutes, 15 points. Caleb Martin, absolutely sensational, relentlessly attacking the painted area. Just a great team win. Incredible to walk into this building 2 times and come out with it. Again, the toughness, really something special.
So Boston will have to find a way to win Game 3 on the road. Teams that go up 3-0 in a best-of-7 NBA playoff series are undefeated. So really, for the Celtics, it's do or die on Sunday night. We will have the call for you from Miami. Tonight, the Heat take Game 2 thanks to a phenomenal fourth quarter. They win it 111-105 to go up 2-0 in the series. For Doris Burke, producer Mike Martino, engineer Bob White, I'm Dave Pash from Boston. Now let's send it to Jim Basketball in the studio with the postgame show.
All right, Dave and Doris talked about it. Jimmy Butler has that clutch gene. How about the results of the AutoZone In the Zone poll question? Our listeners seem to know a thing or two. Jimmy Butler garnering 60% of the vote for the In the Zone poll. In the Zone is brought to you by AutoZone. It's time to say goodnight to that check engine light with a free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone. The NBA on ESPN Radio has been presented by Indeed. They need to hire? You need Indeed.com/credit. We now pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Coming up next on the postgame show, how about our game flow? Heat look for a 2-0 lead on the road for the first time in team history. Let's just say Jimmy Butler big in the fourth, Jason Tatum not so much. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Tomorrow, ESPN Plus pay-per-view and Top Rank Boxing present
Take it to another level.
the undisputed lightweight champion Devin Haney defends his title against former champ Vasily Lomachenko.
A chess match of elite boxing brilliance.
Haney versus Loma. Tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
Chris Canty and Chris Carlin are Canty and Carlin.
I had a horrible minute with the kid outside here. We both were leaving right after the show. I left like 2 minutes behind you. I come out of the elevator at the seaport. I open the door, and I'm with 2 of the other guys on the crew. Yeah. We're going out to get lunch, and I'm not looking, and there is a 1-year-old right in front of me that I just bowled over. Really? Did not even see the kid. I mean, it's down at my knees. I just opened the door, and the kid is right there. Boom!
See, in that instance, I
over.
blame the parent or the caregiver. Why are you having your child stand in front of a door?
The parent was 2 feet away from where we were, and I felt horrible.
Did the child start crying?
Here's the thing, not a peep.
The child probably thought it was funny.
I mean, this kid flopped like Draymond, I'll tell you.
Really? So the kid pulled an issue?
Blocker charge, Carlin.
If it was a Rex Chapman blocker charge, it was absolutely a charge.
Canty and Carlin, weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Did you miss TJ and Max?
Good morning.
But this is not work, man.
It's not work for who? My brain is constantly working, but I'm not going to allow you to minimize my ability to wake up in the morning, follow every single sport that you can think of.
Meaning basketball and football. Go ahead.
Formula One.
Yeah.
I got to follow the Formula One, right? You know, when tennis is rolling, I got to follow this. You know what I'm saying?
Sailing?
No, we don't talk about sailing.
Horse racing?
Well, Kentucky Derby, I had to follow it.
High jumping, pole vaulting?
No, I'm only going to follow that
Long
when the
jumping?
Olympics come. Bowling, I have to.
How about the World Cup?
Bowling.
How about the World Cup?
I did when it was around. It's not around right now, so I'm not following it.
How about the WNBA?
I do. You know, I follow Jay. Nice try. Don't you try me.
I didn't try you. I just asked.
Don't you try me.
KJM keeps you informed. You can't miss a minute. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Jim Basketball back on the post-game show in the heels of Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. The Miami Heat rally in the fourth quarter on the Boston Celtics, 111-105, outscoring the C's 36-22 in that final quarter. Jimmy Butler had 27 points in all to lead the Heat. Caleb Martin was huge off the bench with 25, while Bam Adebayo had 22 points, 16 rebounds, and 9 assists for Miami. Following the Game 1 loss, the home team had won 16 straight games coming in. The Game Flow is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career path with flexibility, great pay, and benefits? Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. Jason Tatum gave the Celtics a dozen points in the first quarter. They were up 1 after 1. Then they go on a big run fueled by Tatum.
Tatum left wing, guarded by the smaller Vincent. Tatum looking to take him. Left-hand dribble, gets in the paint, floater from 10 feet, up and in. 19-2 run, timeout Miami. 9-point lead for the Celtics.
Yeah, the Celtics got the lead up to as big as a dozen. They had a 19-2 run on Miami. The Heat countered with their own 19-2 run.
Jimmy Butler with the ball. Miami looking to retake the lead. Got it on the left side of the front court. Bounce pass to Bam on the left wing facing up. It's Robinson on the near wing. Robinson going to put up a 3 and knocks it down. Duncan Robinson gives the Heat a 3-point lead.
Yeah, that was a part of that run. The Heat closed the first half on a 26-10 run. Jimmy Butler gave him a dozen. Caleb Martin, 14. Jason Tatum had 14 for the Celtics. It was 54-50. Miami at the break. Third quarter, though, the Celtics opened on an 11-6 run. Tatum again in the middle of things.
Vincent left elbow, tries to lean in, got stripped by Horford, and Tatum able to save it on the baseline. Lobs it ahead to Brown in the front court, driving into the lane, got caught in the air, fires back out to Tatum. Top of the key, puts it on the floor, gets to the rim and slams. Boston has the lead. Timeout Miami.
Yeah, they go up top 61-60. And then Tatum doing it from downtown.
Head of the key is Jaylen Brown, guarded by Adebayo. Throws to the left side. Tatum, he's about 35 feet away. Dribbling behind the back. Step back 3 against Butler. Got it. Jason Tatum with his 27 points. Boston by 4.
Yeah, Jason Tatum. And the Celtics were up by as much as 11. They carried an 8-point lead into the fourth quarter at 83-75. I mentioned 16 straight wins for the home team after a Game 1 loss in these playoffs. But fourth quarter, after Grant Williams hit a 3 to put Boston up 9, things got physical with Williams and Jimmy Butler.
Miami ball, left side, Jimmy Butler. Driving into the lane. Pump fake. Goes up from 6 feet and makes the shot plus a foul that goes head-to-head with Williams. Grant Williams and Butler jawing. They were nose-to-nose. There was no headbutting, but boy, they were face-to-face. Double technicals have been called against Grant Williams and Jimmy Butler, but there was a personal foul on the Butler basket, so a chance at a 3-point play.
Yeah, that fueled Jimmy Butler, who hit on that and one, got Miami within 5, followed with another jumper, and then soon thereafter, it gave the visitors the top side of the scoreboard.
Butler with the ball at the top of the key, working on Williams. Crossover dribble to his right hand, drives right baseline, falling away. Again, Butler nails it. 102-100 Miami.
Jimmy Butler getting to his spots. Boston, that was turnover number 14. They've given up 18 off of it.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler, 15-point second half, 27 for the game. They had the lead there, looking to expand upon it. This time Butler was off, but his teammate was on.
Butler on the right wing, timer at 5. Butler left-hand dribble, moves to his right, shot clock at 3, baseline right, leaning in. Butler following again, missed that time. Bam got the rebound and the slam. Bam Adebayo having an incredible game. That's his 16th rebound.
Yeah, no doubt. Bam throwing it down. 22 points, 16 rebounds, and 9 assists. We're going to call that the getting it done play. The game brought to you by Grainger. Need a buzzer beater to keep moving forward? Count on Grainger for supplies and solutions for every industry when the game is on the line. Call or click Grainger.com or just stop by. 36-22 Miami outscores Boston in the final quarter. Again, another quarter, Jason Tatum, no field goals. Their star didn't step up on the big stage in the big moment, and Miami had a 111-105 win. First time in franchise history they've won the first 2 games of a playoff series on the road. Coming up next on the post-game show, how about reaction to the Heat winning Game 2, now up 2-0 on the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. This is the Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.